Oh, what's up, people? It's me, Joey, here for your pre-show. Lunch got here kind of late, / we kind of ordered it late because we didn't think about the fact that we had the podcast because it's Tuesday. And Greg just got back, and here's the real thing, Kevin, is that in review always goes way longer than it's booked on the calendar, so no one ever thinks about it.
But I feel like we should know that. Also,
we should just change it on the calendar.
Games Daily has been going really long with Andrea.
Yeah, you guys didn't even start in review until like 11:30 today, which means that it went to like almost 1:30. It's too long.
Crazy.
Everything's too long.
What I've always said.
Everyone talks too much.
I'm ready for a nap.
Everyone should say 50% less words.
That's the best. I like that you're not even including the numbers on the KF post.
Yeah, because I'm not good at remembering which numbers it is.
35. Today is 35.
Yeah. Oh, I see a wild Portillo. He's a little just wobbling around.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked him better with his bandana on.
Yeah, now his bandana lives with Shuhei Yoshida.
I know, I thought it was weird.
So
kind of made me feel like I died.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming here because he knows I'm gonna drop something.
Exactly. He knows exactly that. I see. Okay, I have a question for you, Kevin, but I don't know if they're going to bring it up on the podcast, so you might have to answer this question twice.
Is it my left shoes?
Yeah.
I grabbed the wrong pair of shoe. It's not a big deal.
You grabbed the wrong pair? Do you have two pairs of black dress shoes that look kind of similar?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have more than that, but yeah, I have two good ones. Now I have 3 for sure, and I've got a bunch of other dress shoes.
So you just grabbed them wrong.
Well, I was like, oh, here's the 2 black ones.
And then you just didn't remember that you had 2.
Right. So I had to wake up, go to the goddamn best.
How did you?
Target.
I want to know about the process about you figuring out that you had 2 right shoes or 2 left shoes.
I had a little panic attack.
Did you like actually go to put them on,
yeah.
or?
Yeah. I went to put them on, and when I grabbed them, I was like, wait a minute, this feels wrong. And I looked at them, and I'm like, 2 left shoes. Put them on, and I was like, this doesn't feel super uncomfortable.
It just looks weird for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
then I went to Target. Mm-hmm. It was a Target mega store.
Oh.
And I bought the cheapest pair they had. It was $34.
It was $4?
$34.
Oh, okay.
Not bad. Pretty comfortable.
You wear them again?
Maybe. I mean, they look a little long, as Cool Greg posted about.
They're super long.
But when you take an angle, like a up shot or down shot angle like that, it's gonna make it look long. You know?
Is it?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. I feel like that just looks. That's the most accurate if you're looking from a top-down perspective. You know?
Yeah.
Like if I don't know if they were I don't know if they were tilted. It would seem like it would be weird. But man. I just want you to know that we got a good chuckle out of that.
Yeah. I saw that you had like tweeted it out, and I was like,
because it was just so good. What the fuck was that? Someone's banging around back there.
For sure, it was outside.
It was outside. It felt like it was right there. So maybe the dentist was doing something. Is it a dentist?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is it weird that we, I guess, I would love, when we eventually move out of this studio, because we're all just on top of each other.
Sure.
Desks, like bunk bed desks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I do want to just go around and talk to our neighbors and see what they think of us. I don't want to do it now and risk making it more awkward or weirder.
I've never felt uncomfortable by any of them. Like, I've never felt like they think that we're weird. I don't think that they, like, I mean, there's a dentist, so there's people screaming in the other room.
I would think they probably get more noise than the people below us, I would assume. I don't really understand how sound travels, but...
It's a wave?
But, like, directionally, it's just
all
every direction equally?
No. Wherever the hole in your mouth is pointed? That's
that way?
Yeah. It's like a cone.
But I guess they would technically be closer to us because... I don't know. I would assume that they're closer to us than having to go through the floor, which I assume is a little bit thicker than the sidewalls.
Yeah. The sidewalls are less thick.
Yeah.
Than the floor. I don't think anyone hears this. I don't think we're as much of a nuisance as we think we are. That being said, we should throw a big party, you know?
And invite everybody?
Uh-huh.
That works.
Have a good going away party.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye party for this place.
We should definitely do that.
When the time comes.
Yeah.
And then the next week have a moving in party to whatever our new
Oh my
spot
gosh,
is.
back-to-back parties?
Yep.
This sounds
Yep.
great. We'll remember that in 7 years when we move out of this place.
No, I'll have it sooner than that.
Who knows?
It's tight, you know? Like when you put on a pair of jeans and you're like, oh, this doesn't fit anymore. But they're my only jeans, so I guess I'll wear them and I hope that they don't tear.
And then sometimes they
It
tear.
always tears. Always.
Sometimes, was it in Austin that happened?
Yeah. Those are shorts. And it wasn't that they were too small. They had just been worn for many, many years.
Oh, got it.
Many years. Good pair.
Yeah.
Until they weren't.
Until they weren't. So that's kind of how it works.
So, yeah. Also, not like, don't make a power slide like that, you know?
What were you doing?
Dropped a key.
A pee.
A card key.
Oh, okay.
And then I you know me, I move a little faster than people think that I should.
Yeah.
So I slid over there.
Understatement of the year.
And did like a half splits.
Mind your spot.
You know?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay. One Andy Cortez, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone should be happy to know that Andy got the bloody nose stain out of that shirt.
Got the bloody nose stain, but got a cold sore now. Looks like I have herpes. And it's true that
you do.
I do have herpes. I've talked about it on my stream, Joey, how like I've just been making love to so many women lately that just got herpes
lining up outside your door.
from all of them.
Pounding it down.
Contracting, giving.
Andy, you should always use protection.
No, it's like
Andy?
Well, it's because I'm looking at the screen, like in the porno bit, and I'm kissing my phone. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
There's
Phone
a
has
lot of
herpes.
phone germs.
I've seen a lot of people kiss your phone, so that makes sense.
Hey, Lexi.
It's a lot of phone germs.
Look,
Arguably,
you want me to sound like Harry Potter, Kevin? During his fight?
Benjamin
Gotta contract all your
Ernst.
exes. Yeah, exactly.
We
Benjamin
literally
Ernst.
talked about
Ben.
that.
Oh, it's fucking Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made mention of that. That I've been dealing with this since I could tell it was coming on Friday. Where
I think you even said it in the office.
I
while we
did.
were
I was
here.
going. I was like, I need to go to Walgreens because I can tell I'm going to get a cold
That's
sore.
what
Like
it was,
it's or a canker sore, whatever the fuck. I felt it coming on, like because I
Which
was.
one is it?
I don't know.
There's a big difference.
Fever blister? I don't know.
Aren't they all
I
the
think
same?
a fever
No?
blister is more similar to a...
Cold sore?
Either way, I knew I needed to buy a Breva because the last time I got one, I bought a Breva, but it's like this little tiny bottle. It's like $26, but
It's ridiculous.
It's
wait
like
a minute. American?
yeah,
It's not like Canadian money or something weird.
no,
Wow.
and that's like the only known thing that can really fix them or prevent them. But I knew it was coming. I felt it like sometimes you bite your lip
like
a
it
little
didn't
too
work,
much,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, that's a canker sore. When you bite your lip and now it's trying to heal, but there's too much moisture, that's a canker sore.
Okay, so I have a cold sore then.
Oh.
I guess. I don't know. It's gross though.
know,
So I was like, all right, I feel it coming on. Let me go buy the Abreva. And, I've been dealing with it since like maybe Thursday night or Friday or whatever. And then over the weekend as, I wind down and I put on The Office, the infamous Michael Scott with where he's wearing the mustache to cover it up and it falls off.
Too good. I almost started rewatching The Office this weekend, and I was like, no, I need to bridge out.
I started rewatching Parks and Rec.
Oh, that almost hit you in the face.
Very good.
What's up with I started Succession. What was I going to say what's up with?
I saw that as I was skimming through HBO.
Put that shit down and go to Righteous Gemstones because it's great.
I also saw that one.
Great content.
And then I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days again.
I'll start Righteous Gemstones after.
Which one's Succession?
Succession is the show on HBO. That's
It's like 2 seasons?
It's like Billions.
Oh.
It's
Billions.
It's an old guy who runs this it's kind of like Rupert Murdoch. He runs this giant entertainment firm. That's like almost like Disney. They have theme parks. They have all these branches, and his son is expecting to become the successor to it and run it. And the dad's like old as fuck, but he's like,
I'm still in it.
I'm still in it.
My
He's kind of like
dick's
Jerry
still
Jones from the Cowboys. Like he's still like he kind of nope, sorry son.
Joey, did that make
Interesting.
any sense at all to you? 'Cause I had no idea who the fuck Jerry Jones is and
Owner of the Cowboys.
Yeah,
what
I
is
know
he
who
doing
he
with his
is.
son. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know anything about his son.
Whoa, I didn't know you were a fucking expert. All right, my bad.
I don't know anything about Jerry Jones's family setup, but he's just old as fuck. Mr. Yasman wants to know if Kevin has checked out The Naked Director, which I can tell you he has.
Crap. Don't ever recommend shit that bad. All right? You hear me?
Whoa, you didn't like it?
I really didn't like it. I watched all of it. Because sometimes you got to give yourself a little beating, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but,
like,
but
no
people
way.
have different tastes.
No, it's garbage.
Nah, don't say that.
No,
That's
it's
mean.
trash. Oh, look at me being mean. What am I supposed to do?
Sometimes you have terrible opinions too, Kevin.
Name one.
That's true.
Don't fucking say Lord of the Rings.
You don't like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you're a piece of shit.
Okay, but I also don't like Lord of the Rings.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but
I
Joey
also
loves
just-
Batman and Robin
It's
too.
true.
Good
She
But
movie.
I
likes
also
Grease,
just
too.
know that I
Good-
don't like
good and that bad.
high fantasy stuff. So it kind of like par for the course, you know?
There's something about The Naked Director, and I think that it might be that it's a Japanese, like where the like a Japanese show, where like the cutting and the editing seems terrible. They just jump forward a bunch of stuff, and I just don't get the impression. Like I don't think that they do a good job explaining what's going down 100%.
Interesting.
Also, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is dead to me. Ignacio, just let it go. Just let it go.
Just watch Nathan For You, man.
I don't like that show.
See, again, that's another
So
one of those
good.
But
examples.
it's like, and like I know the reason for this, and it's the same reason I don't like that other show. You keep
Nirvana the band, the show?
yeah, where it's like,
Did you even try Nirvana the band, the show?
yeah, I did, Joey. I got an open mind. You know what I mean? I'll give it a shot.
Did you? I don't know.
And I don't like the like, oh, this is fake stuff in like the real world, but then you're like, some of this is just fake.
Did you not like Flight of the Conchords?
No, I hate music.
Oh yeah, that.
You see, get my issue there.
I mean, yeah, but it's so good.
I
But it's
like-
also that same thing of like, it's real, but it's not real, and it's scripted, but it's not scripted.
Getting a phone call from 1-800 number. Excuse me.
Cool.
Cameron Kennedy
you
says Andy has
for
the
those
best
two.
taste in Harry Potter movies and Harry Potter hair.
Goblet of Fire had or Azkaban had the best hair.
I think
Goblet
you
of
just like
Fire, the worst hair.
Azkaban's style because it had cool style.
Great style.
Wait, what did you
Alfonso
rank? How
Cuarón.
did you rank it?
Hairs?
No,
Hairstyles?
the movies. Is Goblet of Fire?
I still have Azkaban as number one.
Yeah, we kept Goblet of Fire as number one. We put Order right underneath it. It's so hard with these movies though because it's difficult to judge just the movies as standalone, especially if you've read the books.
Yeah,
Because
because
I'm
they
like,
all
I
just
loved
blend
Order of the
together.
Phoenix. I liked Order of the Phoenix much more than I liked when I was reading Goblet of Fire, but Goblet of Fire is a better made movie.
Interesting.
Like it's actually just structurally better.
Which
Whereas
is
Order,
weird because I feel like for a very long time everyone was like, "Oh, Goblet of Fire sucks. It's the worst movie. It's the blah blah blah." I was like, "It's my favorite," but I think it's also just because I really like that book.
Well, I went back and watched it obviously again. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is actually a good movie. This is a fun story. I think they did a better job. I think start to finish just
Yeah.
paced better. Order just leaves out so much stuff that you're like, why didn't you put another 20 minutes into this movie and like flesh out
Yeah.
these characters a little bit more? But still good. Still good. Who else is stoked for It Chapter 2? Because I am juiced, says
Kevin
Chance
and I-
Carter.
I'm so juiced.
Kevin and I have tickets
We bought
for
tickets!
Thursday.
Winners!
Very
Have you seen the
exciting.
reviews?
I haven't seen the reviews.
Mixed
but
bag,
I've
right?
Talked to people that have seen it.
It's some people are saying it's good, but it didn't exactly stick the landing.
Yeah, everyone's saying that it's like the best like dark comedy of the year, which isn't really what you expect
No,
from
not
it.
definitely
Chapter
not what
2.
I'm wanting. The thing about the It franchise, or I shouldn't say the franchise, I guess it's just 1 and 2, is that it's not.
There might be a 3.
Well, there.
That's what they're saying.
Interesting. Is that the tonally it doesn't like play like a horror movie. It's got there weren't jump scares and there weren't a
No.
lot of actually like really really scary moments. It's just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
The whole time, which I kind of like.
Which I think
actually.
is most Stephen King stuff.
I honestly don't know that I've watched a ton of Stephen King. Like I did when I was younger, but I don't know that I ever
Interesting.
like I haven't seen Carrie in years. I haven't seen The Shining in years.
Carrie the Shining.
I almost watched
Christine.
Silver Bullet the other day.
The Shining,
Interesting.
The Shining changes dramatically from the book, right?
So that's I think what he said. I think he didn't like.
Joker
He-
isn't
he
this
was
week,
super
is
mad.
it? It's not. That's not
October
for another
4th,
month, right?
right?
No, that's a month away. I'm sorry. That's a month away from tomorrow. And Tim, no, that's not this week.
What?
I don't know, dude.
Joker on the other
October
hand,
4th.
Joker seems like it's getting pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
Like, people are surprised how good it is.
It seems
Yeah.
pretty divisive, though.
All right, guys, let's remember a bunch of movies get good reviews sometimes, and we may not agree with them.
It's getting a lot of 10 out of 10s, and it's also getting a lot of like 4 out of 10s.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Me too.
I kind of think that's what I need.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going to get me on board, you need to take a chance with this movie. It needs to be like almost polarizing to the point where they need to go there.
Gotta fucking go there, man.
We'll see what they do.
Ben, I agree. I think Ready or Not should be the best horror comedy of the year. Granted, I haven't seen anything else that really fits in that category, but I concur.
I'm very excited for it, Chapter 2. Very excited. I don't like this news about a Chapter 3 potentially.
It's
No,
weird.
I think that's
no, thank
weird.
you. No,
but
thank
whatever.
you. Unless it's some turtle shit. I'm always down for some turtle shit.
So Yasmin says IGN gave it a 10. I'm assuming you're talking about Joker.
Yeah.
I don't know if they give it a 10.
No, they give Joker a 10. And it's
Cameron
like,
Kennedy says, I'm worried Joker's going to be superficially deep. I too worry that.
I don't know, because it sounds like they've gone like in a totally different direction with it, where it's just like fucking like twisted and dark. It sounds deep. It sounds like
We'll see.
it's just a
Yeah.
fun
It sounds
Joker
like-
story that's really digging into that particular version of the character.
Yeah. We'll see.
my take about Joker is that it's going to be like Annihilation, where people like it because it makes them like, oh, I get it. Like, I get the commentary on it. It's like, yeah, it's not super deep. Like, it's not supposed to be this like crazy intellectual thing. And I
Wait.
think that's what.
Do you mean Annihilation or Arrival?
Oh, sorry, Arrival, not Annihilation.
Annihilation was the same.
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think the criticisms could be said for Annihilation, because a lot of people say
Yeah.
I don't like this movie because they didn't quite grasp it, and then there were people that were geniuses like me. They're like, I get every aspect of it. It's so good.
Yeah. And I think that's going to bring out that crew.
That was a joke, by the way. I walked out of Annihilation. I was like,
Fucking confused.
that was confusing but cool.
I still haven't watched it.
That was great.
I think it's on HBO now, though.
It was on Netflix for a very long time, and if you get a chance, you should watch it, because I liked it a lot.
Interesting.
And the cast is awesome. I think the concept behind what's happening is so fucking cool and deep sci-fi, similar to Arrival, which I liked a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Can we talk about The World According to Jeff Goldblum?
Did you guys
Is that
talk
what it's
about it
called?
on?
We did. I just want to talk about it again. It's
Okay.
coming.
I'm so excited.
I'm happy.
I'm excited that he's gonna go into weird things that I wouldn't expect him to talk about,
I just want to watch
like
him.
sneaker culture.
I want to
Oh,
see
it's
him.
Prime
I want to
Video.
see him go to
Sweet.
like
And
Oh,
Hulu.
and I-
an
Annihilation's on Prime
esports
Video.
event.
He does some. One of the episodes is on video games of some sort. I think.
He
That's
plays
awesome.
basketball in one. You like that sport, right?
I love basketball.
Lexi Gunner in the chat was asking if I'd seen The League yet. I think I've only seen one episode of The League, but a lot of people say that I would like that. Although it's about sports, and I don't get sports. So
Yeah, but it's about sports in the way that like Levitard shows about
Yeah, yeah,
sports.
yeah, that's
where
what
it's
people say.
90% fucking off, and then they reference some athlete that you may not get or understand, but then he'll
But they
pop
make
into
it.
the show
Right.
and he'll
oh, pardon me.
It reminds me a lot of the sort of path that Family Guy had, where the first season was very focused and the characters were the way they were. And then it just sort of evolved into this thing where Stewie's gay now and Brian is an alcoholic, or like how characters sort of find their footing,
Right. After
and
the first couple seasons,
yeah,
it becomes the show that you know it to be.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what always happens.
Why
Hello.
is Tim on the phone?
Kevin,
I think Press McGonagall's calling him again.
really, really sorry.
Which Kevin doesn't understand the reference because he never even watched it.
What fucking bullshit, man?
Make mistakes.
Listen to this shit. Listen to this fucking
Hey, what's
voicemail.
going on? This is William. It's been a while, so I figured I'd try to catch up with you maybe next time. Anyways, the last time we connected, you were interested in making money online, so I just wanted to share this with you because it's currently making me over $10,000 a week. I'll leave you the website. The website is
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making me $10,000 a week. Really? Is it a
Then
pyramid
why
scheme?
are you spending your time calling
Billy?
me?
Yeah, why
fuck
do you
yourself,
call me,
Billy.
bro?
Why don't you want all the money to yourself, Billy?
My favorite are the ones that are barely like the computer has put together the words to barely form English.
I mean, this
where
was
it's
the most, like,
you are
legit-
call Apple right now virus urgent.
Malware.
Tim, here is my question for you. You are the Apple
it to
whisperer,
me.
right?
Sure.
We are in September.
Yes, we are.
What are we expecting from the MacBook Pro? Because I need a new
MacBook Pro,
computer.
I don't know.
Nothing,
We'll,
right?
we'll
Didn't that happen
probably.
last year? They updated the Pro?
They always update the Pro,
Yeah,
but I
there's
don't
always-
think
there's
they haven't had
always
a new
refreshers.
design for the Pro. in a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
don't know that we're gonna get a lot of other shit at the event.
We're gonna get the
which is
iPhone
next
11,
week.
right?
Tuesday, I want to say it is. Maybe Monday.
Yeah.
They're going to bring the iPad mini back?
We're definitely in the iPhone Pro, iPhone 11 Pro.
Yeah.
is what they're gonna call
Yeah.
the new version of this one. iPhone 11, just the normal one. And then
Right.
I think they're going to keep the XR
Pro S.
or whatever the fuck it's
Don't
called.
they have a plus one or whatever?
Wouldn't be like
Well,
the
Pro
C?
is the
Oh, Pro's the big one.
yeah. Pro's the big one.
I could see us getting an iPhone XC, right? Is it
Whatever
that?
the fuck
Yeah.
they want to call it. Well, they have XR currently,
Oh, is it
which
R?
is the C.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, equivalent.
Wish they got rid of it because everyone was like, it's the cheap one.
12's, code for the cops. It's 12 and all that. So if you say an iPhone 12, I'm gonna think everyone's a snitch.
Yeah.
I mean, they better. Hey,
point.
Tim Cook, you listening?
Yeah,
Because we
They
can't
skipped
have a bunch of
9.
snitches out there. Why did they skip 9? Oh, because it was the iPhone X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I skipped 6
That was
grades.
you got to do that.
We're
if it's
going to
10.
get the Series 5 watches. We'll probably see some iPad updates, light ones. 'cause we
I was
don't
I was reading some reviews online, and they were talking about the butterfly keyboard, and I didn't realize that was such a big deal because I
split one?
I missed this entire generation of MacBook Pros. No, it has to do with how the keys themselves depress. And so
Interesting.
prior to that, I forgot what the other one was called, but the one that I have is like everyone loves it because they never get stick, and the way they're just higher up off the keyboard. But apparently the butterfly keyboard get like a speck of dust, will just make it stick.
Oh,
It's
I feel like
bad.
that's what I have, where it's like super shallow.
It's very, very shallow, and apparently it's
I
very
hate it.
dangerous. So apparently
My space
everyone's
bar doesn't
assuming
work
they'll go
anymore.
back to the old design.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
that's obviously the biggest joke is Apple doing like giving something that you need and then taking it away because you didn't.
Yeah.
But the big, not rumor, it's all but confirmed at this point that the iPhones are going to get rid of 3D touch.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Because no one ever uses it.
Because it's like, well, that's the thing. It's great for the like 4% of people that use it. And they're like, all right, it's just not a marketing thing that's working. So
Yeah.
they're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Do you use it?
Very, very rarely. But when I do, I'm like, oh, it's useful.
That's like,
But-
isn't there like a contingent of people that want to do away with Face ID and bring back like the thumb ID?
Well, I'm sure. It's,
And it's
those
like,
are the
come
people
on.
that are like, they're stealing my identity. It's like, yeah, they already did.
Yeah, it's gone.
No, you gave
and
it to me.
everybody else
Gave
is
it
too.
Yeah.
for convenience. And it's a good trade.
Put a chip in him. Kevin Coelho.
I'm fucking ready.
Are you gonna upgrade?
100%, baby.
Yeah, to the newest one.
Dude, with the plan that they have now, it's like you pay taxes. You pay like $37 and that's it.
No, it's more than that, right? Because they're like $1,000.
It's not taxes then. You just pay the $37 like.
Yeah, you're basically just
activation
leasing the
fee.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the new Pixel, Kevin. I was like,
With the giant like 4-camera setup, like, dude, chill out.
no,
You
but
don't
it
need
still has the
4 cameras.
bezel though.
I know.
That's my biggest
I'm
annoyance with
very
it.
upset about it too.
And
on the plus
I was
side-
already like planning on getting it. I was gonna give my dad this 3,
Yeah.
but yeah, he just like the rumors look so shitty. They just
Yeah.
don't look cool.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna get either the OnePlus, the giant like
Why
full
not wait?
edge to edge.
The Pixel's a great phone.
Yeah, but I want to give him. My dad has such a bad phone. I really want
That's
to
his
like.
fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Mom's
is.
got a terrible phone.
You're right. Yeah.
Ignacio in the chat says, please bring back the headphone jack. That's gone.
No, it's
That's
not.
never coming back.
Frankly, it shouldn't be back. I'm ready.
The headphone jack?
Yeah.
You ready for them to take it out of the Androids?
They already did.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Like the
I
Pixel
thought it was
doesn't have
referring to
that.
the Apple.
The
or the iPhone.
Samsung kept it for a while, but it looks like I think that they have started to do away.
Do
with
they
it.
have a proprietary thing underneath it as well, or do you
No,
is it
just
all just
USB-C.
Bluetooth? Oh, USB-C. Got it.
Which iPhone 11 won't be, but I guarantee the next iPhone will be.
USB-C.
I imagine next year we're going to get an actual new chassis.
You think so?
It sounds like
With USB-C.
the headphone jack is coming back on a lot of Android phones
Interesting.
because it went away on some, and now more of them are coming back with them.
It just seems like everyone needs to make up their damn mind on
But
that.
the iPhone 11, the ones that are about to be announced, are going to come with USB-C chargers, but it's USB-C to Lightning. So it charges hella fast, but it's not USB-C to USB-C because that'd be too convenient.
Rafe Munz is excited. He's getting dark mode on iOS, and really excited about that too, Kevin. We're getting full dark mode across the board.
Yeah, but I feel like that's such a funny thing because it's like anyone can like change their launcher and add a dark mode.
Yeah, but now Apple's giving it to us, and I'm extremely excited about that.
Android's doing the same thing. We got Android. What is it? 10 coming out. The new iOS.
They're doing
OS.
away with the letters and the dessert names. So every Android version has been named after
Sugar
a
cookie.
dessert.
yeah.
So it was like
Marshmallow.
I think the first one that I experienced was donut,
Yeah.
and it was like eclair, and it goes to the alphabet.
That makes me happy.
And it was really, really cute. And this is the first one that they're doing away with it.
I was reading about the chipsets that are supposedly going into the MacBook Pro, and Intel has obviously their code names for their chips, and one was like Frozen Lake. I was like, that's dope. That's fucking cool.
Well, I liked when
Arctic Tundra.
it was cool shit when I was super into Mac, where
Coffee
those
Lake
were all
or something.
cats' names. It was like cheetah and then
that's
tiger.
back- that
and
was
snow
back- that was
leopard.
way back in
Yeah,
the
that was
day.
when I was back at Best Buy.
That was when, now we're on like to Mojave or something like that. We're on to like.
Andy, did you
Deserts.
update yet? Android 10 launched today. What?
Chance Carter,
rumors
the
were-
AirPods just fine, no headphone jack by themselves. Man, AirPods, game changer. Didn't think I was going to like it. Totally got sucked into the gimmick.
My wife loves those things. She cannot live without her.
Yeah.
I've been really looking into
got a
the.
They're for good.
I got moon pie.
Oh yeah, have them all, please, Greg.
Mr. Yasmin says, Tim, are you doing a react to the Nintendo Direct
Thanks,
tomorrow? 100%.
What time is this at?
3 p.m.
Oh, tight.
In the morning.
No!
3 p.m.
Every time I
AM.
see any Nintendo Direct, I just think, oh, it's so sad. Tim has to wake up that early.
No,
He loves it.
God.
it's usually the fucking Pokemon
He lives for it.
ones.
How's that moon pie?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, hit the spot.
I don't know if I've ever even had a moon pie before. It's good.
They're simultaneously dry and marshmallowy at the same time. It's a very off-putting texture profile.
What?
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 What are you gonna? Is there a question following
What?
this, or are you
The
cleaning
texture
up?
profile is great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. It started.
What?
What? What?
What?
Like
What?
a moon pie I'm eating right now. I'll tell you what it tastes like. It tastes like when your mom makes that graham cracker dessert dish.
Sure.
Where the graham crackers are like, but the graham crackers are no longer crunchy to go
Yeah,
everywhere.
she doesn't get it right, and they're kind of soft.
My mom's never made that.
Right? My mom.
Oh, God.
My mom made it. And we watched the black or white Michael Jackson video premiere on Fox.
Great.
What a
And that
time!
seared into my brain that whenever I see that dessert or see the music video, I think about him turning into a fucking panther and beating up a car.
Yeah, okay.
Michael
Not
Jackson.
in that order. Not in that order. Well, maybe he did. Did he come in and out of panther form and beat the shit out of the car? Or did he just beat the shit out of the car, then turn into it and go away?
Can't say I remember.
I just remember like people anamorphing into each other. That's all I remember of the black and white video.
Yeah, you nailed it there, Andy, with the little head shake thing.
What is that? The same video you're talking about? Was he a panther in black and white?
I don't remember. I just
Black and white is like where the black woman would turn to an Indian man, and then the
Yeah.
Indian man would turn into a Chinese.
and I think someone
woman,
turned
and-
into a panther at that point.
Kevin, I'm gonna need some research from you on that one.
Michael Jackson Panther. Just Google
I gotta
it.
keep the show on the road here. But you remember this, right? It was a big deal. Like, cause like John Landis, I think, directed it again or something. It was like the
Back
first time
from
since Thriller.
Yeah.
And I remember they made a big deal to watch it on Fox, and then we watched it on Fox. What is you remember this though?
I remember
the Michael Jackson.
he was floating in space. It was a big deal. It was like a half-hour
remember
block
that.
for like one video, right?
The sets were
Scream?
crazy.
I'm thinking Scream.
Yeah.
You might be thinking of Scream.
Michael
think he's a
Jackson,
Panther
black
in
or white
that.
Panther dance. See,
Whoa, shit!
Told you guys. And
Oh, he
this
did
is
beat
what-
up the car. That's right.
This is the thing, if memory serves,
Oh,
where
Fighter.
it was
reminded
like
me of Street
so.
Fighter.
It was so out of left field. Yeah, we definitely can't show this. Michael Jackson's people,
he's
they are
dead.
still out there. From I know, but you'd think that would do it, but it didn't.
I do remember this. But it's so hard because he dressed like he was
Very
dressed in like,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah. See, he's smashing up
Whoa.
racist words. It was a big deal, obviously, but it was
right.
he had a message.
Really racist words.
Yeah. What's his whole thing, man? He was trying to stop racism.
But was this part
And
of
I don't
the
think
Moonwalker?
for the record, timeout. I don't think it's coincidence that after he died, racism came back. This video had scared all the cowards.
It was all
off.
gone, yeah,
all the
sure.
cowards had been
we
scared
hadn't
off.
heard a whisper of it.
There's the Panther.
Okay, so the Panther was after. Panther ends it all.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Scream. I was thinking the
Which
Scream
one's
video.
Scream? Give me
Where
some.
it was
Like,
like,
Scream was the one where he was like getting, yeah,
But he was like
it
floating
him
in
and his
space
sister.
and shit, and it was Janet came in.
Oh
to help
yeah,
out.
it reminded me of
Oh.
it reminded me of bow now.
Oh,
Bow,
Johnny,
now,
Wait,
now.
if you- Andy, if you keep singing it that accurately, we are going to get.
I was spot on, wasn't I?
You are fucking unbelievable.
So then here's my next question. Which was the music video where it was like during like the 4 seconds he was married to Lisa Marie Presley and they were nudie together?
Oh,
Remember this one?
It was a soft one.
And then what was the face? Was that the one where they changed faces?
What?
Because there was no face change in that.
Yeah, wait, what?
No,
was
that was just the dance. That wasn't the
Yeah,
video.
you got to see the video because that was just the
No,
part. That was
yeah.
like the part from like whatchamacallit? It looked like Moonwalker.
Whatchamacallit?
That looked like it reminds you of Moonwalker, yeah. But
Yeah.
that was just the dance part. That wasn't the full music video.
The other
full,
one was actually a
It's
fe-
black.
white.
Yeah.
Was that the same one where he got nudie with Lisa Marie?
I don't think so. No.
That was the thing. was a
things
very
happen.
happy. It was a very happy thing until he got into the smashing up the racist words.
The one that-
but again, it was a fair trade.
The one you're thinking of, I think,
Racists are like, "Ooh."
it was a ballad. It was a softer sort of ballad.
Man in the Mirror.
That's
maybe
what.
you're
That's a,
thinking?
Oh, that's a great song too.
Want you to know I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Some of the Free Willy theme song, man. What
Oh,
a
God.
slap and a half.
I remember doing it.
so
I remember.
conflicting.
Why are you conflicted?
I mean, this is the bigger question about Michael Jackson, right?
That's
art or
Is he-
artist?
are you? Yeah. Do you have to be? Are we allowed to still like him?
I mean,
Oh, here we go. It was
I
Michael
think
Jackson.
we can
You were not
appreciate
alone.
what he did, even though like all signs point to some creepy peepiness.
Him doing some other stuff. that we
Full-blown
can't
child
appreciate.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It was a
What are you saying?
ballad. It was a soft.
Sure,
like
yeah,
look
yeah.
at the way he's emoting. There was
Oh no, you're right. We're just wondering what song
He was
it
dancing to a slow beat there. But that's when he had the hair. I was like, this hair is
Man,
not
remember
working
when he
for you,
tried to
Michael.
kiss Lisa Marie Presley on like the
VMAs?
MTV, the VMAs?
And just
So
then,
she was like,
awkward.
no.
Nobody thought this would last.
And then they were like, and she was like, oh God, he's paying me a lot for this, millions of dollars.
I
I give for
remember
this.
there was. This is so mean. It's so fucking
care.
mean.
It's fucking
But
weird.
the Fox thing in the morning, the Chicago like morning show news, ran that clip every day with a countdown, like a counter going up
Of
how many days
times
they were
until
actually
it was gonna be
married.
Yeah.
Just
How long did they
knowing-
last? They must
I
have
don't
lasted
know.
like a couple months. That was pretty
Yeah,
much
I
it.
forget how long it was, but it wasn't. It didn't stick.
did not last.
It
It
keep-
didn't
It
last.
did not. Yeah, no,
I want to know how that happened. Like, what publicist was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put Lisa Marie Presley with Michael Jackson to legitimize him being whatever he is. And for maybe they're in love, maybe they're not. But it just reminds me of like all the conspiracy theories you hear with Tom Cruise and what's her name?
Tom Cruise. Nicole
And-
Kidman?
No, not Nicole
Katie
Kidman.
Holmes?
Katie Holmes. Where it's like they put her, and then how you hear the conspiracy theories of like these women that are allowed to like that Scientology brings in to be with Tom Cruise, then become stars because Scientology helps them, and then when they like we don't want to be together anymore, their career tanks, which actually is like Olga Kurylenko and like Katie Holmes, like their careers kind of went down after they left Tom Cruise. It's crazy shit.
Illuminati.
Dude,
No,
fuck
not Illuminati.
you.
It's Scientology.
I'll tell you what. Everybody, we got to get into this Tom Cruise business, right?
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes business, right? And he's jumping on the couch and everything. They missed the real narrative thread here.
Yeah.
And it was reminded to me when I was watching American Pie, the unrated edition, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
That,
Because when I see that,
do
I
you
think
remember
deep
when?
conspiracies of Tom Cruise.
Stick with me,
American
idiot, because
Pie.
I'm about to nail it.
I'm fucking on the ride with you,
Chris
buddy.
Klein used to date Katie Holmes. They were America's sweethearts. You remember this?
Oh, Chris
You remember
Klein.
it? And then what happened? They broke up. She went and married Tom Cruise for a
Bless
bit.
you.
He didn't do anything for a bit.
He
Then
was
he came
such
back
a
for
great
American
actor,
Reunion.
though.
He was. He was.
He was such a phenomenal
seen-
actor. The Chun-Li clips?
No, I don't know what that. I don't know what that. What's
Legend
that?
of
Yeah,
Chun-Li.
Tim and I were talking about this recently.
No.
And he was in the Legend of Chun-Li movie.
Yeah.
And there are really, really good YouTube sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like montages or like supercuts of him in that
bad.
movie. And it is atrocious, dude. I just don't understand how he made money.
Was Chris Klein in American Pie and None Other Teen Movie? Or was that
No,
just a
Chris
guy that-
Evans was not another team movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Chris Klein was in it.
Look at this
Oh,
fucking
God.
But I could be
guy.
wrong.
You look at it and it just looks amateur as shit. Why does he keep making that face?
He looks like Chris D'Elia.
You know what? Fuck all of you for giving Chris Klein shit. During American Pie, you were all on the Chris fucking
Yeah, but
Klein.
then during the
What's his name?
Street
No,
Fighter,
not
The
even in
Legend of
American-
Chun-Li.
In American Pie, even as a kid, I was like, this is bad acting.
We loved him. We loved Mira Sorvino. Not Mira Sorvino.
Yeah, that's right. You're nailing it.
Mina
You're nailing
Savari is the character he was with.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I thought he was right too. They belonged together when they were on the dock at the end. We were like, this is the romance of our fucking
Hey, what's
lifetime.
the deal? You know that I feel for you. Like he was.
Hey, I'm really trying to act.
he was
Kevin.
He was. Why'd you say Kevin?
Because he has a
Because
wife.
you're in the voice. You're doing the
Doing the
voice.
voice.
Yeah, after we watched.
By the way, which I realized after we made that was my Luna Lovegood. That was just my Luna Lovegood impression.
after we finished off American Pie, Lucy James was like, "Have you ever seen Chris Klein audition for Glee?"
Oh my god.
And I was like, "What? No!" And it's this video here, and it's like, it's you know what I mean? It's something. What? Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Might as well. Fuck that. Funny.
But is it
dead.
like? Is it real?
Oh, it's real.
So why is that Funny or Die?
Still in here earlier, right?
Can you turn it up,
God,
Kev,
he's
or
king
Tim?
of
Stop it.
kings.
Rewind it.
This guy's a pimp among prostitutes.
What? Now he's doing Glee.
That's what I was told.
Okay. He's 74 years old.
Yes.
So
All right, Kevin, hit it.
Exclusive.
Was a funny
I
guy.
said Bill Paxton in here earlier, right? My God, he's king of kings. This guy's a
Oh no, this is him making fun of himself.
Yeah,
I hate
this is
that.
definitely
Stupid
him making
funnier
fun of
guy.
himself.
God damn it.
Yeah.
They got
You can
me.
tell because
The
he's
clickbait title.
backlit. He's backlit. They don't light people like this in real life.
One of my favorite things that Kevin just showed us earlier before we even watched that was
Kevin, real
YouTube.
clips, Kevin.
YouTube has this new feature that as we're doing live streams, it'll tell us what we're fucking up as
Yeah,
we fuck it up.
I love
it. Yeah.
Which is horrifying. But apparently, like we didn't do anything copyright. It was just like it already popped up like this is not suitable for advertisers based
Fair.
on something we said. You think it's just the Michael Jackson?
I think we were just
you think
talking
they
about
hear
Michael Jackson.
They're
I
like,
guarantee
"You're
it.
right."
I said,
I think we were saying fucking.
I said child molester.
I said, put my dick in a moon pie. I was like, Greg, put the moon pie in your mouth and I'll put my dick in a moon pie. No, I thought it though. YouTube can read your fucking thoughts just like my phone can hear me.
All right, here's the real thing. I think. Otherwise, I'm just.
Yeah, this is when
All
he
right.
was much younger. That
Okay.
makes more sense.
Hey, by the way, you guys had Mandy Moore in here. She is an angel of all angels. I don't know if you guys saw American Dreams that her and I did together, where I too sing, hopefully better here than I did up there. That was acting. This may be slight singing, but she is
he
just
doing
a
walking?
dream come true. You should hire her on the spot. She's amazing.
What the
Anyway,
fuck is he
that's
doing?
my own personal.
Oh, that's not even part of the
I hate
audition.
actors.
No,
I
no,
hate
oh, no,
actors.
that's not scripted.
I hate actors.
That's
so
just he
much.
passed Mandy Moore in the hallway.
You guys had Mandy Moore in here?
She's an angel of angels. Poor Crystal.
I wasn't jealous before we met. Now every man that I see
Oh, maybe it's
is
Mamma
a
Mia.
potential threat.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
It's-
Glee
And I
covered so
possess
much
if
ground.
it isn't nice. You heard me saying that.
That's Chris Klein, but this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. Four,
feel
sometimes
ugly.
five best friends gather around this table, each bringing their whatever they want to talk about and show you Chris Klein clips that Lucy James from GameSpot showed them. If you like that madness for some reason, you should head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. You can get each and every episode early. How early? You could find out that we're demonetized as we find out we're
Yeah.
demonetized.
Wow.
'Cause
Oh
we
my
stream it.
god, guys, sorry. Keep going. I'm
Oh,
sorry
is
to
that okay?
interrupt
That's
you.
permission?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to
permission?
interrupt you.
It's fine. You should think about it.
You're
fucking
gonna take a big ass
apologize, dude.
fucking slice.
No,
What's
I
he
was
gonna
just
do?
gonna
What are you
just
gonna eat
talk
some
about
whole
like
pie? Eat this moon
how
pie.
little
Eat this moon
these
pie.
fucking videos make on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like I just didn't think it was that bad.
You mean
Oh, it's bad. Did you finally look at it? And like on our thing? I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, our most successful video made us $115.
$125.
Dude,
Right.
it's horrible,
It's absolutely
dude.
atrocious.
Yeah.
I looked into like on the game side and it was like, oh, let me see how much my Mario Maker video did with 27,000 views, like $4.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
the ad rev on YouTube, there has to be a come to Jesus with that because you then you learn about like how much they're selling for a Super Bowl ad. And granted, I'm not comparing us to the Super Bowl.
I am.
But the numbers don't add up mathematically where it's like 1 million people watch that or 16
Heads up, we detected copyright audio in your video stream. Your video may be temporarily blocked.
Great.
Fuck YouTube, dude.
It's okay. Nobody people are
Thank you
used to
for
this
supporting
point.
us on Patreon, though.
You go to patreon.com/kindafunny. You can get exclusive access to the show. You can get it ad free. You can watch it as we record it when they can't even stop us from putting stuff in or taking stuff out. However, if you don't want the pre and post show ad free copy, watch it live, early access, no big deal. You can head over to youtube.com/kindafunny and podcast services around the globe each and every Monday when the video posts with ads, no pre and post show. Video is the exact same way, but it's free, so you can't complain. Am I wrong?
You ain't wrong, Greg.
Thank you very much. Housekeeping for you. Oration lives. If you didn't know, you can go to youtube.com/kindafunny. Find new episodes popping off each and every Tuesday. I've really enjoyed this. Of course, these were edited by
Roger Picorni.
Roger did these, and he did a fantastic
He did a
job.
great job.
And I made Nick screen them, so now every time one posts, I don't remember what I did or said or what the edit is, so I get to watch and laugh along with you.
Yeah, dude.
And nothing makes me
You're
laugh
your
more than
own
myself.
greatest present. Yep.
You know what I mean? A lot of people are always like, oh man, it would suck to be in solitary confinement if you murdered somebody. And I'm like, you know what? Be pretty great for me. What? What do you want now?
You,
Is that just part of your housekeeping?
Just point of clarification. You made me screen Cooking with Greggy. I watched all those. I didn't watch any of these. I think Tim watched all these.
Definitely did not watch all of
None
these.
of us watched any of these
Must
before
have
they
been
went
Joey.
live. Hopefully,
that sounds
Roger.
like a Joey thing.
It's possible I watched them and forgot them all.
Doubtful.
Who knows though? But Roger did a great job.
Also, we have new merch at kindoffunny.com/store. Support us there because YouTube videos don't make us anything.
What's the new? But if you're watching on YouTube, there's this little carousel of stuff below. What's the new merch, Andy?
We have a KFAF shirt,
Nope,
connect between 3 and
don't buy that,
5.
don't buy that.
It's a great shirt. A lot of people are buying them, been getting a lot of tweets. Appreciate the support.
For every dollar you spend on that shirt, is a vote we get for KFAF for streaming.
Tell you what, the shirt is so identifiable at PAX. I was talking to a kid in it, and we were going around, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I like you guys a lot, but I just like Funhouse more." And he went like this, and I looked down, I'm like, "Oh, that's a Funhouse shirt. That looks exactly like the Connect one with the red and the yellow dots and stuff."
Andy,
so they're just ripping you off, or you're ripping them off. I'm not sure who's ripping each other off, but it wasn't.
It's the winning board of Connect between 3 and 5.
I know, but it wasn't that shirt. He was wearing a shirt that looked very like it, but it was actually.
They
a
play
Funhouse
Connect
shirt.
4. They got the license.
Fucking
Yeah, they got
assholes,
some sponsorship deal over there,
and also the blue hoodie.
Yeah, the blue hoodie's back. If you've been looking for that Kind of Funny blue hoodie, hit up kindoffunny.com/store. Also, a lot of our merch not popular, so it's really clearance sale. The exclusive Kevin Coelho bachelor party is up for like $3.
why are we still selling that?
We have it.
Here's what I'm going to say.
What do you want to do? We're not going to ship it off to fucking Africa like you do with the losing Super Bowl team.
I at this point, I'm
could
like,
you
there's
imagine?
got to be like, what, 10 left? Let's just buy them out and burn them. Let's just buy them and burn them. Buy and burn.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Bert Meg and Kieran O'Donnell, for keeping the lights
Thanks,
on.
Bert Meg.
There it is. Funhouse Morse code shirt.
That's a Morse code shirt, Greg.
I'm saying it looks exact. He was wearing a bomber jacket like Andy. And I looked at it, I was like, oh man, at least he's a Kind of Funny fan. Turned out
Andy,
Funhouse fucked us as
that
usual.
is a cool shirt.
Today we're brought to you by Bespoke Post and Upstart, but I'll tell you about that later. This is the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
That's the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Hey, bro.
That is not another Greg Miller.
It's not.
That is Tim Gettys. I know it's hard to tell because the beard, the glasses, the filthy casual shirt. Come back to me.
God.
See, we look at it's a very similar look. We're aware of it.
Can we talk about how you guys are just quickly becoming the same person?
I mean,
That's what we're going.
I mean, now look, now I'm Nick. You know what I mean?
Where did you get to be me?
I just took off my glasses.
Hi.
I think honestly, now what happens is you have to wear glasses.
I want to wear glasses.
Here's my problem for everybody that's wondering, because I'm sure they are. I have to wear glasses.
Good.
It fucking sucks.
You don't
Forever?
have to wear glasses.
I have to
You
wear
could just be
glasses.
blind. You
I
could just
could
walk
be
around
blind.
not seeing things.
You're right, Nick. There's the option of just.
You have
being
another
blind.
option. You can have Kevin drive you
No
everywhere.
vision, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can get one of those sticks and just hit people in the legs with it and just be blind.
Not gonna do that, but
No.
I'm gonna have to wear these for
I'm
a
just
while.
saying.
So what's going on? Your eyes still
It's the
rebelling?
same
section
issue I've
has
been
it.
having with my eye, but like they're just like, yo, it's not healing. Like you need to just rest off the contacts for an extended period of time. And I'm
Gotcha.
like, great.
You got really good looking glasses. Though. I like
Great.
those like a lot.
You look good in glasses.
I'm like,
You do.
it's
Greg?
fine.
No.
I like
But you
worse
look
without
good.
them.
Let me see. You got those dreamy eyes. You got those fuck me eyes.
Now you just
I do
you
have
gotta
fuck me
just
eyes.
stop
I do have
looking
fuck me
at
eyes.
too weird with that.
Jen was looking at him the other day. Let me tell you, it went well. All right, because she was talking about how
went
they got
well.
they got the green, but then she
She
got
found
like,
another man.
I got like I got like the sometimes I got like the volcanic ridge in there. You know what I mean? You look at it, it's like because it's green. It's got the hazel going.
I never noticed how green your eyes
Sometimes
does
it
some
got
of
the
the stuff in there.
volcanic ridge.
I see what he's
Look at
talking
there,
about.
look in there, look in there.
On the inside, there's a little brown.
Everybody's on
It's a step in.
It's a step in, Tim, you idiot. Didn't know that?
I'm really mad about my glasses though, because the reason I bought them is obvious when I take them off.
They're blue.
Look at that blue though.
Oh, in the back,
Oh,
they're real
it's
blue.
fucking sexy. But
see
then
that blue there?
when you push it against it, it just turns
No,
navy.
no.
Oh,
That's it.
that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
It still
Oh,
looks
those are
super
really cool.
light blue. 'cause
Yeah,
of
you
your
can definitely
hair.
tell it's blue though.
I love it though.
And I like how right now. Now, did you buy? I know how you are very fashion conscious. You have many bomber jackets. You have many
I do.
Jordans.
Yes, I do.
Did you buy multiple glasses to go with different things? Because these match your shirt so perfectly right
I
now.
understand that. Yes, not yet.
Okay.
But there is that plan with Warby Parker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are these
Maybe.
Warby Parker?
No, these are Armani Exchange,
Hell yeah.
which I was very embarrassed to buy. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna go home with the blue
I was
Sharpie.
just like, God damn. I wish that I was just like, these are cooler blue than any other ones.
Would
And
you
at the end of
prefer
the
to
day-
have the branding on the inside?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just not have it.
Yeah, it always weirds me out when people. Not weirds me out. I understand it as a person who has perfect vision and probably will never need glasses.
God bless you.
Unlike you fucking dorks. It's always weird when they decide to put the logo on just seeing glasses to me. Like if there's sunglasses, I'm like, cool, that makes sense. You want to pimp the logo, like Ray-Bans, whatever, Tom Fords, whatever. But when I see people that have the Tom Fords and it's just their normal glasses, I'm like, I don't know that I'd do that. I want it to be a little more subtle as my everyday glass. I don't want to be a
They
banner.
don't let you be subtle.
I
Like
don't
they
like
just
it.
add these logos everywhere. It's really upsetting.
Now, Tim, you're a man of wealth and taste.
Okay.
You're cultured. You know people.
Uh-huh.
If I said Kirk Scott, you'd say
Captain Kirk.
Nintendo, exactly. I had dinner with him over there at PAX, right? And I've always appreciated his glasses.
Okay.
He's got some big old Coke bottle black rim glasses on there.
Yeah.
Because, for me, whenever somebody's asking me about the black rims, I'm like, I can't get them thick enough. You know what I mean? I want to Mr. Magoo the shit out of this. And, that's a problem. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
They get so
They're
scared.
scared.
Exactly. Kirk Scott, not afraid. And I got to figure out what eye doctor he's going to because he's got these motherfuckers on it. But these glasses do something I've never seen before. Because, again, now, if you haven't seen them in Nintendo Directs, imagine big old black glasses, right?
Can we pull them up? Is there a possibility of pulling them up?
Sure. Can you Google Kirk Scott? That's not Kirk Scott. That is.
Google Captain Kirk Scott and see what happens.
Kirk Scott Nintendo.
I found him at the bottom
There you
right.
go.
Peter Bogdanov.
And then go to images.
I feel like you're doing a great job.
Yeah, okay.
There. Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, those are nice glasses, right? But see now, yes, it's on there. They are so thick. And you look for the logo, it's hard to find it, except when he looks at a menu, and it turns out they're on the top rims.
Oh, weird.
The words are written out on the top.
What are they? What type of?
I don't know. I didn't get that close to his
You didn't
face.
get that close.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny the brand of these glasses.
Would you guys believe that when I had to go get these glasses,
Yes.
I spent a good 45 minutes trying to make the decision of which ones I'm going to get?
Did you bring Gia?
No, I didn't have that luxury.
Send her photos.
I did.
Yeah, of
best. It was a whole fucking thing. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is spend about 45 minutes looking. Spend about, no lie, 25 to 30 of those minutes in the women's section. Didn't realize. Because that just says a lot about my taste and the colors that I like and the things that I want.
That's fair.
This has always been my life. I've always had this issue. And I was like, you know what?
It's time to live
Fuck
that
it.
way.
I don't care.
Are these women's glasses?
No, they're not.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not. But I was like looking and it hit a point where it's just like, all right, they're not going to make them big enough for me. I have a big ass head. So it's like, all right, whatever. One of the men found these and whatever. Went out with my boy James Burke to eat some dinner the last couple days. And I saw him as we sat down in the beginning of dinner. I saw him do that thing where he looked at me and I saw him look at the glasses and then look away. I'm like, he has some shit to say.
Yeah, he does.
And he did it. And I was like,
I bet he did.
He's grown. He's a mature human being. Until about 30 minutes later, he goes, "Are you wearing Gia's glasses?" I was like, "God damn it, dude!" I was like, "I'll have you know, these are men's glasses, and I could have got the other ones because some of them went from purple to blue, and I really liked them. They were dope as fuck." But
I'm the same way, Tim. There's so many times where, especially in the gaming world, where games will come out with merchandise or a T-shirt or whatever,
sure.
and the women's shirt in the women's fit is always the cooler color. It's always like a brighter, more saturated thing because men just generally buy a black shirt. Especially in our industry, it's always a black shirt. And it's just so fucking annoying where, and I also feel for women who are like, why can't we get women's cuts? That's always their argument. For me, it's like, I just want the brighter colors. I want the cooler, more saturated, the pink on blue or the teal on whatever the fuck,
yeah, they're cowards. They just won't do it.
It's bullshit.
I feel you. I feel that way with shoes every once in a while, especially since I wear
Same
shoes
here.
that are fairly unisex, but they'll do different color schemes for men and women. Like the Stan Smiths, I'll be like, "That's a dope," and I'll pick it up. I'm like, I want this, and they're like, "That is a not." They don't come in your size. They're female
Yeah.
shoes. I'm like, damn it!
Yeah.
All whites.
Holding us
I want
back.
all white shoes sometimes, and they
That's the
never
problem.
make those
all
for
white.
guys.
They're afraid. They're
Why are
fucking
you afraid?
cowards.
I'm fine.
There was
I'm
a long
fine with
time
it.
Nike Dunks were in all white and they were so sexy, but then there was a long time period where it's like, oh, the men's are very limited and
Craig's
the women's
laughing
are like,
about something.
you're around. Hate that. What do you got, Greg?
I was watching some TV up at that PAX. You know what I mean? Just chilling out in the hotel room. And one Tony Romo came on. Right? And he's talking about how easy he wants his life now and he's all about convenience and
Skechers?
a Roomba. Yes. And I was like, this commercial sucks. And then he started showing me these Skechers that you can just pull on your feet. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking buy these shoes. Please. Tony Romo, you just turned the corner. You just turned the fucking corner. Touchdown.
you're your own man. I will
Skechers.
never limit your creativity or what you put on your body, but
Yeah.
please don't buy Skechers.
Why?
just-
Not like
I don't
I
like
mean
the
for like
brand.
a house slipper. What do they do?
But what?
What did they do? What did the
did they
brand
do?
do?
Skechers was just like the obnoxious thing that was over advertised in the 90s to
Yeah,
kids.
it's too
And it's like,
much.
if you have to give me this much advertisement, you're not good.
I
Nobody
never
wants you. You're
owned
not
Skechers
cool.
as a kid.
It's
There's
like
a lot of
the-
kids in school that had Skechers
Jesus.
though.
Go up, Kev.
God.
Look at that one right there.
Go down, pull this up.
No. Just no.
Oh my God.
What are we wrong?
It's just insulting.
What are we wrong about them? What's wrong?
Don't everything.
First off, pull down. I'm not talking about these. These have laces. I'm talking about.
No,
Keep
no,
going.
They're fake laces though, right? Or these
Well, let's keep going. Let's
Keep going.
scroll
Just-
down.
yeah, that right there. That one right there. No laces. Looks like it's from the future.
Just get a Vans.
Solar fuse. Huh?
Get a slip-on from Vans.
I mean, I like that.
I think
I
that
like
fits
that
you, dude.
style of
I'm not
shoe.
gonna lie. I understand that Vans. There's another brand of shoe, but Tony Romo is the one who sold them to me.
There's a ton of Adidas that are like that are way cooler.
That's my thing. Is like if you're
Ultra
gonna go
Boosts.
Skechers for $72, you can go up to $100 and get the thing that Skechers is ripping off, which is the Nike Freebird or Free Run rather, or the
I have
whatever
free
the
run,
Adidas.
but I use them when I'm either.
That's what I'm saying. So stick with the cooler
But
brand.
those
right?
have
how
laces,
come when it comes
and
to
they're
like
neon
running
colors.
shoes, then all the rules are out the window, Andy? Then it's like we're gonna fucking put every color in the goddamn rainbow. And
they
make
want
it
you to
as
feel
neon
fast.
as possible.
I think that's just Nike.
Safety. It's a
I think
safety issue.
a lot of that is Nike, where you do get the fluorescent blues and you get the fluorescent bright ass, the most neon red you've
But
ever seen in your
there's
life.
never thought. It's just we're gonna put all the colors on every single
Yeah.
one. There's no
it reminds
like.
me a lot of it reminds me a lot of watching like people in motocross, like where their suits are just all over the place. Like, it
They have
reminds me of
logos
that. Like, yeah, there's no colors or rhyme or reason or anything, and that's also a reason why I used to always buy Onitsuka Tigers.
Yeah.
Different versions, like the Mexico 66 or the Serrano. They have like a bunch
I
of
had a pair
different
of
models.
their, I think I had a pair of the Mexico 6. Those are the ones that are like wrestling shoes, right? I had a
Yeah,
pair of
but
those.
they were the same thing where the guys' colors are white on navy and fucking white on black. Or
I had them
whatever.
in red, white, and blue.
Dude, the women's ones were like I had 2 pairs of women's ones because their colors are so much better, and they had like
They're the ones you can
they
get all
had the
yellow.
mint on the dark blue and
Yeah,
like
those are
the
nasty.
I love those colors. I love the greens and the blues and shit. Never available in men's.
That's understandable.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Skechers, and then I was watching Wolf of Wall Street over the weekend, and they talk about Steve Madden, how they take his company IPO, and I was like, remember Steve Madden's, like the shoes?
That's a big deal.
Those are a big deal.
It's a
I had like
huge deal,
3 or 4
dude.
pairs of those back in like the early 2000s.
I only associate Steve Madden with like women's shoes, like heels and stuff.
What am I thinking of then? I thought they,
What am I thinking of then?
no, I thought they did, but I
K-Swiss.
you might be right. I might be thinking of a different brand. There was one that was like it looked like those Skechers where it was like kind
New
of a more
Balance?
fitting shoe. No, I think they made men's shoes.
Maybe
I could be wrong.
In my lifetime,
I'm gonna look
New
them up.
Balance killing it because of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard,
Steve Madden's got
celebrated
men's shoes,
athlete.
Well, now they do, but take Steve Madden, 2003.
Give me the 2003 lineup of Steve Madden shoes.
Juice.
No shoes.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about. The ones with like the remember those
the stripes.
I had so many of those, like with the sort of the ones with the those two, but the ones with the tread are the ones I'm thinking of.
The one you were on the
to the
first
left.
time.
Yeah, that
I've
one
seen,
right
I've
there.
seen
Click
that
on that.
before.
I remember those are the ones I think of.
That looks
so
like you're
much.
watching a fucking rock a ska show.
I have a friend of mine who's a comedian.
About
He's
to
older.
bowl.
Who still wears those, and I'm like,
Seriously.
we gotta stop. Those were the cool shoes. Like he wears those shoes with the flared out bell bottom like style pants, like the cowboy pants that we used to all wear in like the early 2000s.
I saw a guy with like crazy
I'm like, we
flared
gotta
out
stop
pants,
this.
flared out jeans when I was walking to CVS
Well, it's coming back.
yesterday.
It's coming back. Yeah, like so now like the styles are moving away from super skinny, and now they're going to like more of a boyfriend jean or like a dad jean.
What's a
and that's
boyfriend?
coming.
Okay. Dad,
Well, like
dad, it makes more sense.
I'm seeing a lot of people now who are like who I would consider trendy, that they're not wearing super skinny anymore. They're like they're
Fran?
just kind of like they look like fisherman, pants. Or like I guess they're very comfortable, but there's a lot of room in the middle in the leg, kind of little high riser. I like them. I wish I could do that. I'm not fashion forward enough to be like, I'm gonna walk in here with fisherman jeans on and take what Kevin has to give me.
Yeah, no, you're
I'm
not.
just not. I
don't
can't.
think
I'm not
anybody
gonna be able to
is,
deal
to
with
be fair.
Kevin's criticism of whatever jean I'm wearing.
I got to have the follow-up fashion moment, except a little bit different, that we had in Toronto. Remember when we went to that really, really, really nice steakhouse, and we all walked up in t-shirts and sweatshirts?
Oh my god, I forgot
And they
to
looked
tell
at
that story.
They looked at us, and one by one they looked us up and down, and then they go,
Are you going to a concert after this?
they're like, no.
They Romaned you?
Yeah. No, I mean, they were lovely people. But it was that thing of like, what's happening? Why did these 3 tech bros, whoever, I don't
we
even
never
know.
told the story about what happened in that restaurant. We never told the story
weird.
about the fucking that went down.
I don't
I
Before
don't
we
know if
jump to
you're
that,
right.
and we can have a debate if there was fucking or not.
100% fuck.
Last night it was the exact same thing where Jen and I are like, we're gonna do a date night. We haven't done one yet. Let's go out. And she had to work late, of course, because she was breaking down her PAX booth. But then we're like, all right, here we go. And she dresses to the nines because we're just going to go to this steakhouse. She looks great. And I'm just schlubby Greg in my t-shirt and my hoodie went in there. And the manager was like complimenting her on the way to the table. They sat us and like they finished up. And then she kind of just looked at me and I'm like, wearing a bright blue sweatshirt in a steakhouse. Hi. Greg Miller, kind of funny.
It was the first time that I've actually like experienced. No, I take it. It's not the first
Again,
time.
they were lovely. It wasn't the pretty woman of like, I don't think this place is for you. It was just like,
Really?
You guys aren't dressed
I kinda
normal.
got that
feel like
vibe.
we get spoiled.
It was 100% that.
I feel like we get spoiled
Yeah.
being in San Francisco.
The look up
because-
and down was that vibe, but then after that, everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
Like,
Yeah,
I-
everything was
like,
fine.
Well, because the
I get
waiter
it.
wants to make money.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like
She
don't piss
doesn't.
them off.
She don't give a
The
fuck.
woman seating us doesn't like get
Give a
tips.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm all for dress codes, but when I moved, like when I started really kind of experiencing the culture of San Francisco, especially the tech industry boom, like you'll go to
Culture, man.
smoke.
Oh, man.
You go to like an epic steakhouse and you look around and it's a bunch of people that are from tech who are dressed like we are, but for all anyone fucking knows, like they're billionaires. You just don't know. So like I think we get that a lot here.
Yeah.
But when
Money,
you take that
baby.
to like East Coast, people they look down and you're like, you're not shit.
He's got a different vibe over there.
You're not shit.
Now, anyways, let's get to this.
a
Nick, there
dinner
was
jacket
a
on.
raging hard-on debate at the steakhouse. If the couple to our left, in the middle of their meal, went to the bathroom and fucked.
Oh, that's hot.
Now let me give you some evidence.
That's hot.
All right.
Exhibit A.
There's a man.
Here's his condom.
There's a woman.
We followed him.
I was in the bathroom while they were fucking.
They are approximately what? 24?
Yeah.
23,
Fair,
24.
fair.
What level of hotness are these two people? Scale of 1 to
Good.
10.
Like they look
Solid
like
sevens?
they would work well together. Like I totally
Like you-
buy them as a couple.
Okay, let's
The boyfriend
let's,
looked like a cousin of mine. Like he was
let's
just like some
stop
Latino
mincing
dude.
words. Would you watch these two people
20
fuck?
years. 100%.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
So they're
What's
there.
the barrier? What's the barrier to entry
Pretty
on that
low.
one?
Pretty
okay,
low.
Okay,
But
just
like,
making sure.
I wouldn't. They're not hot.
I mean,
but like
as
they're
we go
good
around the
looking.
table, I would watch anyone fuck.
Well, I thought she was hot. I saw her and I was like, oh, she's hot. Like
Okay.
I thought I was.
I thought they were both attractive.
They're definitely attractive. All right. So they're there, and you could tell that this was a big deal for them.
Yes.
That they're at this restaurant because it was a very unnecessarily fancy restaurant that looked like it was Harry Potter land.
Cool that you guys went without me, man. That's great.
So we're
Don't worry,
there.
when you go to Toronto,
we're watching them enjoy
won't
their
do anything
meal,
with
God damn it.
and eventually they just stand up, all giggly. and
multiple
shit.
courses.
Yeah. Multiple courses are happening in between courses. Get giggly, stand up, walk away, leave all their shit there. Their
Phones.
their wallets.
Canadians.
Well, you have to leave the phones
Everything.
there, otherwise they think you skipped out on the meal.
Yeah.
Like I went to pick up some sweet potato fries from
Nick,
my local
please
burger
do
place.
me a favor, never leave your phone anywhere.
I left my keys and my sunglasses, and as I went to the bathroom with the number to indicate like, hey, I'm coming back, but I've gone to the bathroom. Otherwise, the guy would have like, where the fuck did this guy go? And it worked because not only did no one steal my car, which I was worried about.
Yeah.
I was. I came back and they had taken the number and put the sweet potato fries down.
I done it after I saw the
Nonverbal
Blair
cues.
Witch game demo a couple weeks ago. I went to lunch next door, and I went back and got a booth all the way at the back, and I was like, you know how I am. I have to wash. I was gonna eat a sandwich. I had to wash my hands, but I was all alone, so I like left my sweatshirt and I think like notebook or whatever there. But like I was like fucking. It's that thing where I run into the bathroom and I'm like kicking the door open, like, still trying to keep like watching the bag, kick it back open, see what the fuck's
to
going
be
on.
fair, if I had walked out and someone had stolen my car, I would have been so happy. I want a new car so bad. I'm not stolen it because I had shit in the back that I did it, but if they just pulled it out and rammed it into another car, I'd have been like, oh, thank you. Now I can finally
I
put
feel
this
like
down.
they
Just
I feel
took
like
out
right
the stuff
there-
from the back and put
Put
it
it
on the
down
street.
and,
And
like,
exploded
Right
Exploded
there,
it.
it started the percolation
Exploded it.
in Kevin's mind of how him and Cool Greg can steal Nick's car and ditch it somewhere. Like how they can do a foolproof insurance scam.
I would know because I'd get in the car and I'd be like, Kevin. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they were trying to do you a favor.
Bunch of goat hair
and
everywhere.
Steal it.
Oh, I thought you were going to do what you're going to do. Remember that fantasy where you're like, what if we fucking crash your car? And it was the most stressed out you've ever been, but then we gave you a new car. How would you feel? Would you be mad?
I did say that. And what it was, if you remember, we were both going to drive to Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Car A would get there. You'd pull up in your car B. Once you're out, we throw a cinder block.
giant
through
cinder
the-
block.
That's what it was. Now, to be fair, I'm all for this fantasy if the next car you get me has a working air conditioning.
Sure.
Then that'd be fine. That would
Sure.
alleviate my problem.
I hate that your air conditioning's bad. You told a story earlier today off the show that you drove to Tahoe, which is
Yeah.
a 3.5 hour drive,
Yeah.
and had to keep pulling over to stop to air the car out because it was too hot.
Yeah, what happens is
That's
if the inside of the
horrible.
car gets too hot, then the AC can't keep up with it because I think we have a leak of the heat. And so we kept pulling over just to like put the car in shade. And then we get like a Slurpee and
That's a
just wash
flaw
the car.
of the leather, though, man. I love leather in cars, but it just
Well, it goes
keeps
both
the
ways
heat
with
too
leathers
much.
because if it's freezing in there, the leather retains the coldness too. So back in the day when my car used to have great air conditioning, you'd have to like, it would be not even a problem. It would be ice cold in there. We'd have to like turn, temperature accordingly. But now it's just, it gets to a point where we were fine when it was 85 degrees. Then we started passing through Sacramento, it was 102. And the air started spitting out at me warm with a little bit of moisture. And I was like, oh, like I'm going to throw up. I was like, oh, this makes me want to throw up. And then you can't roll the windows down because it's 105 degree weather outside. You're just going to get hot heat in there. So I just had to sit with it. Meanwhile, the passenger side is better because that's where there is no leak. So my wife's like, I'm fine.
yeah.
I'm like, do you
going.
want to drive? She's like,
Don't pull
no.
over.
No.
Just buy a hose and put it over that vessel and bring it over to you.
I was thinking about doing the thing where I was tape the vent shut.
Vent. That's the word I was
But
looking for.
yeah, the vessel.
Man, I was like vessel, and nobody corrected me. I'm like, I am not in the right place.
But my wife's like, don't, just let it go, because we're
Anyways.
getting into trashy territory.
Giggly. They get up, go to the bathroom. How long are they gone to?
I would say approximately
10 minutes?
12 minutes.
Yeah, they fucked.
I'd say a little over 10.
They fucked. Either they fucked or they went to smoke cigarettes. That's the only other
Oh
thing.
wow, I didn't even think of that.
Because it is a
No, we didn't-
steakhouse. There's multiple meals, and Kevin will attest. There is nothing better after the appetizer and the first cocktail than going out, having a cigarette, maybe 2, come back in, eat your steak, go out, have a cigarette, come back in, have
in the
dessert,
bathroom.
That's
have a cup of coffee.
that's such a good point.
Jack off under the table.
I didn't even think of that. As somebody who never smokes, that didn't even occur to me.
Yeah,
I bet they went to smoke.
They didn't look like smokers though.
Did they?
They looked too.
I
They
feel like-
looked young enough where they knew not to smoke.
and they
anymore.
left so much stuff there. I never saw. They had it all on the table. I never saw a vape pen or a pack of
Yeah, there's
cigarettes.
no
up there.
evidence.
Maybe it was just in their pockets.
that.
No, but to me, the reason why I don't think they went to go and fuck, because it was a nice steakhouse.
That's why you
But
guys
that's
don't
what's
understand
hot.
this.
It wa-
they
we
were
weren't at
there,
some
and this was an event, and they're like, "We're gonna fucking
But
do
the
it."
thing
We
is
weren't
this,
at a
though.
grimy club or something.
But here's
That's the
what
point.
I'm going to ask you guys, as a person who
Why is
has
that the point?
who
You have to
may-
leave your mark. It's like this is a once in a lifetime thing we're doing.
They're
and we
having a
gotta fuck
romantic
there.
evening. Remember, he wanted to get bananas Fosters or whatever. One of those crazy.
Oh, I
toys.
love bananas Foster's. They light it on fire.
Yeah.
It's so lovely. I had that on a cruise ship for the first time. I was like, this is the best thing in my. My question is this. This is the all important question.
Lay it on me.
Were the bathrooms individual neutral gender bathrooms, or was it traditional man, woman, stalls, yada, 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 urinals, all that
It was
stuff?
man, woman. I went to the restroom.
Okay, then there's no way, because what are they going to do? Go into one of the bathrooms and start fucking while other guys are coming in? Because he's not going into the women's bathroom. So you're going to take her into the men's bathroom, and you're not going to get caught? Come on, that's gross. Someone's going to come in and be like, you can't be doing that shit in here. They're going to look down, see high heels, getting pumped. Like, no, come on.
Really?
I would think so. I'll put it to you this way. I went to this is granted a different situation, but I was
I
having
was at
dinner.
a funeral.
I was at my grandmother's funeral. No. I went to a restaurant called the Tipsy Pig, which is in the marina. You've been there. You and I think have been there together.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was
I love fucking in it.
It was a Friday night. I think my buddy Stu and his wife were joining me and the missus to get just a cocktail and some dinner. And a couple tried to go and fuck in the restroom there, and the guy, like, someone was like banging on the door, like, you can't do that shit in here. Now, granted, it's a bar where
That's
apparently that happens all the time, but those are individual. Like, you walk and it's one of those, like, it's just 5 doors with gender neutral bathrooms, and then the sink's like common sink, which I don't like, by the way.
No.
'Cause I don't like washing my hands next to people. It makes me uncomfortable, but I'll get used to it. But yeah, the guy was like, "Oh,
I'm
this shit
glad
happens
you-
all the
I
time."
hope you do.
This guy happened. It's just weird. Like, you look over at a female and you're like, "Did you just take a shit? And are you washing your hands?" Because I just took a shit. It's weird. I'll get over it.
You honestly say all this to the stranger.
It is a societally conditioned issue. I will get over it. I'm getting over it. I'm working through it. But
The
yeah,
Tipsy Pig, is that where we went for Alfredo's birthday that one year?
it might have been. No,
Before you left?
No.
Okay, never mind.
You guys went to someplace similar to that, but not that. If I remember,
Because they had the communal sinks where you just go to the restroom, you come out, and it's just like, hey, wash your hands.
It's
everybody.
more popular than ever.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
forgery.
I'm saying if it's a nice restaurant, you'd have to have a lot of balls to go into the men's room that's a shared men's room and bang it out for 12 minutes. Because that's just not.
I
It's
think
not.
it's you guys,
You're
man. It's a
taking a
different
gamble
time.
of, do you think, I would say the percentage of people, I think you're,
No, what do you think?
let me tell you what I'm thinking here.
What are you thinking?
I'm saying I think the majority of people who went in there wouldn't report it. I think it's a steakhouse and it was a Sunday night, right? I feel like, remember, it was them. It was a family next to us, right? That they all seemed kind of cool. I'm sure the dad would go in there and be like, reminds me of my youth kind of thing. Then you remember that table came in and they were all like 18 and had like chains and stuff. And like
they were definitely rappers. 100%. They just made their first SoundCloud paycheck and they were like, we're spending
Let's
it
go
all
get
here.
because it seemed like an Entourage kind of situation.
But the two guys to the left of me, to your right, were like just two guys on a business thing.
Sure.
Or maybe they were fucking, but it seemed like it was like they were both dressed up. They both had their
They seemed like
jacket
they're
and
for
their
work.
suit and jacket on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like talking about, the latest readings of the whatever.
The Dow
Quarterlies?
Jones
Yeah.
quarterlies.
Quarterlies, yeah.
Up and down.
I'm saying a lot of those people would have walked in there and been like, poof, kids.
Totally.
I
Or
remember
just
taking my 24-year-old
enjoyed it.
girlfriend after this.
But I just feel like it's not as subtle as
They
you guys
just
would have
turn
thought it was
around
gonna
and
be.
lean on the sink and listen for a
I
while.
don't mean like that. I just mean like walking and be like those motherfuckers. Like in the same way we were. It was like, they're motherfucking fucking.
No,
Like,
they
it's a
were
funny
definitely
thing.
smoking, dude. They were definitely smoking.
God, Andy, you're so innocent.
Because also it was
You are innocent.
7:40 p.m. It wasn't like
That's the
11
time I
p.m.
get
wrong
horny.
time for fucking.
It is not fucking time.
I
What?
get
It
super
wasn't
horny
11
between
p.m.
4
and
8.
people were hammered at this bar trying
This
to like.
wasn't guys. This wasn't fucking. This was making love. All right, they were on a romantic dinner in between the lobster
Do you
mac
think
and
she
cheese.
did that hot thing where girls do sometimes where they reach down and take the panties off and then just stuff it in your mouth?
As soon as he started, I was like, "This is not gonna be a good thing." Kevin, you and your hand up. You got a question?
Sometimes.
I was just gonna say I've only fucked around in like a nice.
That's the thing is, I don't know what it is.
The
I know
bar
so
should be-
many people.
It's about leaving your mark there. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
want to know.
You know?
Totally.
Whatever
I don't
that
want to
may
know.
be.
I don't like leaving my mark. I don't like that
Also,
terminology.
That's what it
when
is.
it comes to like, you just have standing sex in a men's like stall.
Yeah, it's
Only
not
one
that
pair of feet.
complicated.
You know what I mean?
Where's the other pair of feet?
You're standing.
They're in the toilet.
You're carrying them. You carry them.
Back against
That
the
sounds
wall.
like a back
so it
problem
carries the
waiting to
weight.
happen.
He's too old.
No.
They're smoking cigarettes.
The only time I've ever had sex in a bathroom was when it's a bar bathroom and it's one use only, where it's the bathroom and
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
in and you lock the door and you're like, we have 3 minutes until someone notices that we're in here and starts banging on the thing.
Luckily, I only take
really
1
need 30
minute.
seconds.
Yeah.
And she goes like, she sees some panties in your mouth.
What's for dessert? Is he in the fantasy? The waiter comes up right as she does that and is like, would you like to try the flan? And then you're like, it's weird that
I
there's
hate
flan
that
in
he
a
said
steak
flan.
restaurant.
It's flan.
Why are they asking you about flan in the bathroom?
No, because it's at the table
Why
when
would
this
that
happened. Then you
face
go
too?
into the bathroom
Oh
to
my
have sex.
God,
That's a whole
damn.
fantasy I got right now with this hot couple that's a solid 7, maybe 6.
And there, so she takes her panties off at the table.
as like a amuse bouche, so to speak.
What the fuck,
I don't know,
Nick?
Moosh
Like a lagniappe, like a little appetizer for
Okay,
what's about to
okay.
happen.
Like a moosh boosh, Greg.
Like it's foreplay. She goes, I'm sorry if you guys aren't cultured like I am. And she stuffs it in your mouth as the guy's coming up, and then you have to. Okay. He's like,
yeah,
would you
yeah.
like some of the flan? And you go. And the guy's like, we do have chocolate cake if you'd like, sir. It's chocolate molten lava cake. And you go.
I was gonna take 45 minutes. You have time for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
You should order that when you
So
first
you order
sat down.
that, spit it out, and then go bang it out.
Wait, so you're not even leaving him in? I thought she was like leading you through the restaurant with them in your mouth.
I think she just wanted the scent to permeate
oh wow.
inside your nostrils.
Now I won't lie. I know a lot of people are gonna make fun of him for that. I've read a lot of erotic fiction that does the exact same thing. All right,
Yeah.
not the exact same thing, but you know.
It's so weird to me that you're really into erotic fiction.
Why not?
Did you write that?
Because you
No,
made
no.
because you kind of like almost shamed me and Nick one time for knowing way too much about porn. It was like on a camp
No, to
podcast.
be
We were
fair-
like, you guys know way too much about porn.
To be fair, we know an unhealthy amount about porn. Greg
Sure.
probably, if I had to guess, and I don't want you to confirm this, but I desperately want you to confirm this, I would guess Greg reads one literotica maybe a month.
Oh
And that's
sure, I'm
enough
not
for
like
him.
I'm not like out there like
You're not out
all
there
over
like
it.
Jen, like you're not Jen and Porty go to bed, and you're like, cool, and you take out the old book.
I get like
next
the
story.
giant manuscript there. Put on my reading glasses like this.
Like, if there's
I'm going through it like it's the giant Bible. reading
There's
it
like, but there's no actual pictures. They have to do it with carrots and like exclamation marks, like the boobs.
Tell
know?
you what, I had a big moment the other day where I was like, I watched a Pornhub video because
Did you?
that dirtiest porn thing they did.
Do you like Pornhub? Then you'll love Pornhub Live.
Nikki
What a
Shaky
great
tweeted
tweet.
that yesterday.
Yeah,
and
I
it was the
retweeted it.
fucking funniest thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the most identifiable sentence?
Yeah.
It's every
never
time
heard it.
it's
Never heard it in
it's
my
always
life.
the ad in the beginning where you can skip
pre-roll.
after like 5 seconds, but it's like if you love Pornhub, you'll love Pornhub Live, and it's like a girl like just sticking shit inside of her or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can skip the ad and start the video.
Did you watch this dirtiest porn ever though? The porn they filmed on the disgusting beach, and every person who watches it, they're gonna give you know what I'm talking about, Kev? No. Do a Google because they have a safe for work trailer explaining it better than I am. Go ahead.
Was this like chainmail?
For every person that watches it,
No.
they get what?
They're giving money to
Oh,
get
okay.
plastics out of the ocean.
I thought it was gonna be everyone
So
that
it's
watches
these
it,
two
someone
people-
dies in
it's
7
these two-
days.
It's
It's like the ring.
if you don't jack off to this in 7 days.
You got to get someone else to jack off to this, or else the girl comes out of your TV.
hello. Please pay me.
Do you want some flan?
Not happening, Cap?
I'm sorry, Andy. I didn't mean to mispronounce that. By the way. I know it's flawed. I just said
it
flan.
made it funnier. Like it's
I'm
just
sorry.
horrible.
I'm sorry.
No,
do you-
this isn't working.
Kevin, just show us.
No,
No, just show us.
I mean it's just it's.
The ads. Can we talk about the ads?
No.
Here it is. Most disgusting porn.
Gregory found it.
Jesus. Well, it's because he did the Kevin thing where I went one in and got processed a different way.
Yeah. Greg found it on Forbes. If you ever heard of Forbes, Tim is 30 under 30.
Oh, wow. I'm slacking into control there.
There we go.
I'm hoping that it's there. It's not most disgusting porn ever. It's the dirtiest porn ever.
I'm not a great listener.
I know, but I still love it.
I would have said most disgusting porn too.
Is there no video in it? Did they not do that? Jerks.
So interesting. So for every
If you click on... I think I'm...
Yeah, let's watch it. Oh
Yeah,
no.
this is... I'm assuming the safe for work version because it's 1:16.
It's a minute and 16. I'm sure it's fine. I don't see-
I'm scrubbing ahead.
It's a minute 16. I'm sure it's fine.
just a cursory scrub.
As if we haven't
Oh
seen
my
minute
God,
16
look at
videos
that
that are
girl.
not fine.
Jesus.
No, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This is the one.
Yeah, grab it.
'Cause I'm assuming you can grab a butt like that on YouTube, right?
Hell yeah, you can. I've seen worse than like beauty bloggers.
So yeah, they have this. It's a really cool campaign.
Am I the only one who's rock hard right now?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what it is about this filthy beach, but it's getting me going. Oh, that's
a
dope.
great graphic.
Here's the fucking thing.
Well, hold on, keep
man.
going. We shot adult film in one of the most polluted beaches in the world, and to help clean it up,
This is very not safe for work.
we want to
No,
get
it's
dirty.
fine.
No, this is exactly it. So like right now, if you're an audio listener.
Who's
She
that guy?
just dropped to her knees to give him a blowjob, but there's garbage blocking it. And then, so there's this porn they filmed on this beach of these two people fucking. The porn begins when he grabs this and moves it away. And then you just get into a porn, but then it's these two fucking while all these people walk around cleaning up the beach in their little weird AIM outfits. And then
That's
every time
crazy.
I forget how it works. It was in it earlier. Every time somebody watches it, they donate X
Kev, can you
amount.
do me a favor?
Why did we click off of that one?
Wow. Kev, can you Google?
That was just a whole lot of blowjobs.
Can you Google Leo Lulu? All one word. Leu. No.
Good job, Kevin, cutting that one early. Good job, bud.
Oh my god, that was intense.
His reaction. Oh man, that was a big dick. Jesus.
Big old uncut.
No wonder
son of a
you
bitch.
dudes fucking blocking our shit.
But I went and watched that, and I was like, yeah, good for you guys.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, everyone has a bad. Porn still has. It's still stigmatized. It shouldn't be.
I mean,
It still
is.
shouldn't be.
It is,
is.
but it's not nearly as bad.
It is one of
It's
those things that,
stigmatized by like fucking, I don't know, Mike Huckabee. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that.
it's still something that could be used potentially against people in a political sphere for sure. But like, I just feel like we all have to do our part. So everyone tonight, including you, Greg, we have to go jack off this video and then FaceTime each other while it's happening.
Too far.
Are you guys seeing this part? Yeah, I'm at this part. It's a great part.
Why?
That's how we
Which one of
talk
us
now.
is talking?
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. We all sound the same and look the same.
Oh, okay.
Who is the porn actress in
It's Leo Lulu. I just didn't know because that was the only name there. I was wondering if it was the male or female.
it? I'm guessing
in the
it's
video.
her. She's hot. Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah, that's enough.
Well, you can show us.
Oh,
I'm sure the kids at home. The kids at home are definitely Googling this.
Kevin
Come
scrolled
back,
down.
Kev. You want to show? Jesus
No, we
Christ,
don't-
what?
I mean,
Just show us.
Oh my
Jesus,
God.
yeah,
Oh, that's a big one. Jesus. For a second, I was like, what is coming out of her vagina? And I thought she was
it's
like
not coming out,
I thought
it's
it was like a poop, but it was a big old dick. It was a big old fat donger.
What a ding dong.
It's a fucking big old ding dong.
That's a ding dong XL if I ever saw one. You know?
Man, I love porn way too much.
Oh, in unison. That's a big one.
we said it at the same time.
It's big.
That's a big one.
Do you think it's like fun to have that big of a dick?
No.
I feel like at a certain point it would be
I
when
do.
you're with your guy
Think it
friends,
is
right?
fun.
Because you'd be like, no matter what, I have a bigger dick than you guys, right? That's how you would throw that around. Like we'd be like, hey,
guess.
how do we
Said
decide
all
what's
times, no matter
Oh my
what.
god, man, I'm fucking like.
You okay? You
crying
lightheaded?
with
Lightheaded?
laughter. Holy shit. That was so funny, dude. That's a big one. Yeah, having a big dick should be pretty cool. I'll look
But it's
forward to it
probably
one
not
day.
right.
You're still growing your dick.
Wait, it's like growing
I'm
into
only
your
31. I got time.
That's so sad.
Cutting, just totally changing subjects, right?
Sure.
Well, what are you going to talk? Do we have like an ad to cut to or whatever?
Do you want me to cut to an end?
No.
Not after that. We should probably give
Yeah,
it
you gotta let it breathe
a
bit
wide
usually.
berth. No. I heard you all talking about Chappelle's special in the back.
Chappelle.
Yes, we watched it, and I know you had some criticisms of it last week. I don't know if we want to talk about it on the podcast or off air.
I'm only halfway through.
Oh, you're halfway through it. Okay.
Yeah,
My
go for it.
criticisms with it like weren't I do think it obviously like he's going for the edgy jokes. He's going for
definitely going for the edgy
he's
jokes.
definitely going for the edgy jokes. But I'd say about 75% of it maybe I felt like just wasn't very creative. Those are my main criticisms, where a lot of these jokes are jokes I see on Twitter from really lame, unfunny people.
Yeah.
And so when those styles are coming from who I think is like one of the more creative comics, if not the most creative comic, and like almost just like a genius. Like whenever he does his specials, you at the end of it,
It's
you're
a
always
next
just like,
level.
wow,
Yeah.
that was like something really special. This, I didn't really get much of that. I think there were like definitely some laughs here and there. Aside from like I'm not really grading this on like, oh, he punched down a lot. I do think a lot of that stuff was like kind of whatever. But for
I
the
don't think
most
he punched
part,
down too much though. Because I mean, like,
Really?
I mean, I don't think so. There's a solid
I
middle
think it
section.
is, from what I've seen, it is 90% punch down.
Really?
But like, I think that he did your percentages, I pretty much agree with, where it's like, I feel like so much of it's generic, but I thought he got to interesting punchlines. It's just the question is it worth it at the end of the day? And I feel like compared to his other stand-ups,
I feel like here's what I think the problem is that information and those jokes are moving too fast. So if you try to be topical, it's impossible to have a take on it that we all haven't seen 15 times. This is a problem I see with a lot of people's specials like Rogan, or people who are trying to be more like trying to do topical humor about stuff, is that the world's just moving too fast. So by the time they get to their take on it, we've already seen that take. Similar to Chris Rock's last special when he talks about like the gun control issue, and people always have the criticism of like, oh, well, someone couldn't kill as many people with a knife. He had the same take that I've seen on Twitter before, but I still laughed only because the power of his delivery and his performance. And that's what I liked about Dave Chappelle. He's just fucking an amazing performer. And yeah, some of his jokes, I feel like some of his jokes were underdeveloped. I think specifically the stuff that he talked about with the gay community and the trans community, I felt I'm like, if you're going to broach those topics and I'm going to be out on that limb with you, this shit better fucking hit, and it better be really, really sharp. And I just feel like it wasn't as sharp as it could have been.
it felt really like unprepared.
Some of it just felt underdeveloped to a degree. But I have that same criticism with everyone's special. There's 20 minutes of Ricky Gervais' special. He talks about being an ape. Where I'm like, this is not good. But the stuff before and after that, I was like, this is fucking genius.
Well, that's the stuff that I'm sort of like alluding to, where or sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm really bad
Referring
at words.
to.
Yeah, referring to.
Yeah.
Where we see jokes.
Sorry, Greg just finished his moon pie, cleaned it up because I criticized him about it while you were talking.
I was gonna do it no matter
and then
what.
folded up the plastic in the loudest possible fashion and stuffed it in his back pocket.
I do that all the time.
It was the longest fashion. That went on way too long of me over here.
Yeah, I think we see those jokes a lot on the two sides of Twitter. I think we can be kind of, both
open
sides about this. It's a lot of the people on the right who are like, oh, transgendered people saying that they identify as something that they think they are or whatever, and like, well, I identify as an Apache helicopter. That's like the joke that gets recycled nonstop. You see
I
that
identify as a bald eagle. Yeah,
you see that fucking joke all the time or whatever, and that's what Gervais did with I identify as an ape, and I was like, this just isn't even creative, or like, this is really low level sort of shit.
And his doing the what if I was a Chinese like person stuck in a black guy's body, like that joke I felt was underdeveloped. I just felt like those are such hot topics, like hot button topics, that you really have to have a different angle on them to get people not to immediately react like, oh god, dude, are we talking about this again? Similar to like anytime anyone brings up Trump in comedy, I'm like, oh come on, like this better be the fucking smartest, funniest thing I've ever seen, because I am so tired of hearing jokes about Donald Trump. Just so fucking tired about it. Even if they are valid criticisms, it needs to be next level. But I do think that I applaud him for the joke he made about where he starts off with where he was like talking about like reviews, and he's like, who am I? And he goes through reviews, he goes, it's you motherfuckers, you are the ones that I'm talking about. And he talks about the entire audience. It's like, you guys are the worst fucking people to entertain in the history of humanity. You're all too fucking critical. And the audience is laughing. He's like, yeah, keep laughing, motherfuckers. Like, but you guys are going to be the ones that go out on Twitter and bash me after this.
He's doing impressions, and the second impression he does is like, here's my second impression. I'm gonna make fun of you, duh. If you did something 10 years ago, I'm gonna find out about it, duh. And he's like, who am I? And there you hear a couple people like Trump or whatever.
This is Chappelle.
Chappelle. He's like, no, it's you. Like, I'm making fun of you right now. And I some of that stuff I thought was creative.
It resonates because you haven't heard that before. And I feel like that's the thing is he's such a good performer. He's so good that's why I wish that the content was there. Like I wish the cunt was there 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Not just
but that's
30 to 40.
But that's an impossible ask.
But not when you're Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, but I mean, we're all very, very. The other issues, we're all very, very savvy when it comes to stand up now because we've seen so many specials back to back that the bar has been set so high it's impossible to hit.
See, my thing is like I feel like
name one perfect special,
but it's not even about being set so high. It's like just at least
Killing Him Softly.
hit some type of bar.
But Killing Him Softly could be criticized for not being topical enough, for him just telling silly stories about his white friend that are clearly fake. He doesn't have a friend named Chip. Those are all made up, right? And when he dips into that material here, it almost feels like antiquated. Where you're like he tells. I forgot what story he told, but he's told one story. You're like, this is clearly fake. Oh, it was the story about someone breaking into his house, where he's like the crackhead or the heroin addict broke into his house. You're like, that's not. This is. It's weird because you're veering off now into shit that's clearly made up, and I want you to go back to the topical stuff about criticizing the audience for their harsh criticisms of you.
Yeah, I guess I just I'm not. I'm not asking for a perfect special, but I know what to expect. I know that with most specials I watch, I might enjoy maybe 60% of it.
Sure.
But I do feel like he should be held to a higher standard because he is Dave Chappelle, and I liked his last two specials a lot. Like I enjoyed a pretty big majority of those. Just the content. I thought the jokes are creative and funny. I thought the one where he's sitting down in that bar, the very, very sort of introspective one. I thought that story that he tells at the end was so well done and so well crafted. And I felt like this special doesn't have much of that, And it's not like this is his third go around or something. Like he's been doing this forever. So it's not like we're hitting sophomore slump levels of Dave Chappelle where it's like, oh, his first two were so good, but now now we can sort of see where the material's struggling. No, this is like one of the best to ever do it. And I feel like those levels of creativity that I expect from this sort of comedic genius, I just didn't really see much of.
See, for me, I admire him because when you're at the top like that, you have to take big swings and you're going to have some big misses. And that's just the way it goes. I do agree that a lot of the stuff felt underdeveloped. I will argue that I could point to a solid 15, 20 minutes of any one special that's been released in the last 10 years that's been underdeveloped. And that's across the board. I don't care who you're talking about. Nothing's perfect. But I do think that when it did hit for me, I was like, oh my God, because he is not afraid to go out on that limb. And that's what I will always respect about Dave Chappelle is you might not agree about the topic and his take on it, but he is taking on every hot button topic head on. And I like that about him. And some of them, like, oh my God, yeah, some of it made me think like, oh Jesus Christ, like don't talk about that. Like you're gonna get ripped apart, and your take on that is really, really weird. Like his Michael Jackson stuff, I was like, I can't tell if he's kidding. I can't tell if he's kidding. Well, he starts the joke off with, I don't believe the kids that in the interview. And then I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. Like, yeah. I know you're kidding, or are you kidding? I'm not quite sure. And then by the end of it, you're like, okay, this is just a long joke, a long setup to make a Home Alone joke, which is hilarious. But still, like, I think there's so many comics out there that are afraid to broach these topics or broach these subjects.
Are there? Like I feel like we in comedy, especially in the Netflix comedy scene right now, it's like we're seeing there's two camps. There's the people that are not afraid, and that's all they'll fucking talk about is how not afraid they are to tell these jokes. And then there's the other people that just don't make the jokes. I don't think that they're afraid to make the jokes. Like you refer to it, you have to take a big swing. I think this is the littlest swing you could possibly take.
Oh, I disagree. He's gonna take he took so much shit for this already, but it's because he wants to get out there and be polarizing.
His next special he does is gonna semi-apologize for this and be something that is pushing the art forward, because all it is getting the headlines to get the conversation. Well, nobody's canceling Chappelle.
Like he definitely knows that if he has a joke about the entire gay and lesbian community and trans community, he knows that's going to be the thing people write about. He knows it. He's not stupid. He's putting that stuff in there on purpose because he wants to be polarizing, and he wants to have people talk about him like that.
That's not a big swing. It's just like, or it's like a sucker punch more than a swing.
It's a swing to me in that he's going out on a limb, and that he's having a take on it that is against the hyper liberal grain, right? Where he's not going up there and saying something that I, as a person who is a liberal in San Francisco, would expect him to say.
What does he say exactly?
Too
much? Okay.
No,
well, I mean,
nothing.
He has too much to summarize.
Yeah, too much. The whole thing. It's like,
let's put it this way. He starts off with an Anthony Bourdain suicide joke. That is like his first, well, not his first joke, but, and also I feel like they cut some of the beginning out of it, but that's just me. Because it just starts with him like on stage already. I'm like, what did they cut out of the first 10 minutes of this? Maybe it was just him warming the crowd up. Who knows? But he starts with a suicide joke. And
He does the very easy joke of like, you people in the alphabet community, the L's, the G's, the B's, and the T's. Yeah. Like the alphabet joke, it's like, that's so fucking overdone. Like,
see,
Jesus.
and that was the one part that I'm like, Dave, come on, I expect more from you in instances like that. And again, I said there's maybe 20 minutes of that where I'm like, that's not his best stuff. But I thought overall the rest of it I thought was entertaining because I think he broached those topics not to be a dick, but to set up a punchline that I felt hit. Now, whether or not you thought that was funny is I mean, that's up to you. That's subjective. It's comedy. It's all subjective. But I thought a lot of his stuff, while being really, really intense, still made me laugh. And I like that he can do that. I like that he is a master of his craft, where he can start by saying, I don't believe in the people that came out against Michael Jackson. And I could be like, I don't know, dude, there's pretty harsh proof. And then by the end, I'm laughing at his punchline. That to me is why Dave Chappelle is probably the greatest living comedian right now. But I also understand completely why you might have criticism of it. Again, it's subjective, and you might not like, people don't like quote unquote edgy humor. And I do feel he dips into areas where he's being edgy for edgy's sake, which is unfortunate because you are leaving yourself open for criticism.
The problem is I like edgy humor. I just want it to be original and funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like so often in this, it's just not. But when it is, it is. The Home Alone thing was hilarious.
Fucking hilarious.
And was that edgy and really weird to get there? Totally.
Yeah.
But it was worth it in the end.
Totally
Whereas
worth
like
it.
a lot of the other stuff, it's like, this is just a variation on a bad joke we've heard a bunch of times, and your punchline wasn't worth it. And it's just, I just feel like it's such low-hanging fruit, and it's like, it is just edgy for edgy's sake to begin with. It's like, I'm going to say some stuff that people aren't going to expect. I'm not supposed to talk about this, but I'm going to. It's like, say something about it then.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of it wasn't even, I wouldn't even say not his best stuff. I would just say just overwhelmingly his worst stuff that I've seen in any of his specials.
Interesting. I thought the one where he came, the first one he came back after a long time, the one that was filmed I think in Texas, I didn't like that one very much.
That was so far I like that one less than this.
Really? Yeah, because
Really?
that was
Wow.
the one to me where I thought I for the first time in my life listening to Dave Chappelle talk, I was like, he's tone deaf. He's making jokes that are using specific words that are just not funny anymore. Like those are words that we would have thrown around as inflammatory terms back in the day to each other, and now it's just like, I hear those, I'm like, there's nothing there for me, you know, like using the word tranny or using the word faggot, like those words to me, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Is he using it for punchlines?
He was back in that first special, like, and he got criticism for using that word specifically, the word tranny, and he was like, tranny's this, tranny's that, and people are just like, dude, like, there's got to be a better way to articulate yourself with that. And then he came on and apologized about that, but then made a joke about that, which I think started him on where he's at now, which is to be a little bit more meta with the criticisms that are coming at him and why they're coming at him. And let's make fun of those, but let's also take them apart and analyze them, which is what he did in the Belly Room show as well.
It just reminds me of Louis C.K. and coming back from, I mean, not that he ever came back, but
he's coming
he came back strong to
Don't tell Louis C.K.
a
that,
different
'cause
crowd.
he doesn't think so.
He came strong back to a different crowd who are like, but let's get that edgy humor. But he came back with like, you know, oh, these kids whining about their friends being killed. Like, is that... Sure, it's very, very edgy, but is the punchline of this going to be worth it? And it was not.
No.
Like, but
again, but with Louis, and I'm not defending Louis because I still think he has a longer road if he wants to mount a comeback. But in his defense, one of the hardest things you could possibly do, and this just goes across the board for any big, huge like A-list comedians, is develop material. You know, that joke, when and if he gets another special, I guarantee we'll have a different punchline because it's him just working through material. It's just, the difference is if you and I go to a comedy club, we can work through material in relative anonymity. Louis C.K. goes, there's fucking 8 reporters there waiting to write anything that he possibly said that could be offensive because they know it's going to get clicks. They know that people are going to be interested in that, myself included. I'm like, I want to know if he's bombing on stage or said something inappropriate because I still think he has a lot to make up for. It's hard. You know, and that's when I watched Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Eddie Murphy talked about that.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because Eddie Murphy's coming back with a special, right?
He's coming back at $70 million purportedly from Netflix to do his first special.
Saturday Night Live leading into it.
When is it?
Which is fucking crazy. You have to understand, Eddie Murphy hosting Saturday Night Live is a huge deal. He has like disassociated himself from that show for so long to the point where like when they did, I think it was like the 25th anniversary, he was like the only person that wasn't there because he fucking just hates Lorne Michaels.
I'm going in there with like the lowest of expectations with Eddie Murphy's.
It's going to be hard. We'll see.
But here's the thing. I don't think the reason why I assume it will probably be bad is because it reminds me of any older comic.
Chris Rock, man.
I feel like a lot of those the older acts, like Dana Carvey and Steve Martin, had their like duo thing.
No, that was Martin Short.
Oh, Martin Short. Sorry.
Dana Carvey's last, but I don't think I watched his last special. But there's a great documentary about the Dana Carvey show that is fucking genius.
I just feel like a lot of it doesn't it just isn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain. No, not even just tone deaf. It's just like I feel like these older comics just don't have it anymore. Like, you know, it's older jokes and it's like weird kind of character humor that It's like if Jim Carrey were to make The Mask today. Mm-hmm. Like we'd be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
to me,
yeah.
and this is the way with Eddie. Where like I watched him on Comedians in Cars, and I was like, oh, I forgot how fucking funny he is and how charismatic the guy is. But he hasn't put himself out there like that in a long time, so it's going to be hard for him. And he talks about it. He's like, I got to get back in the clubs, and I am not looking forward to it, because he said when he left, every single time he'd go into a club and say anything about anyone, it would get written up in the fucking New York Times. And that's really, really difficult for a comic to go in there and feel that he can be vulnerable and develop that material in front of an audience. That's the only way to do it, by the way. You can't sit in your house and write something and think, oh, cool, I got an hour special. You've got to get on the road. You got to be doing that 5-6 nights out of the week, 2 shows a night, and hacking at it. And Dave Chappelle does do that. And with all that work, this is what we got, which is what I would consider, a flawed special. It's not perfect, but I don't know. Eddie will be interesting, because is he going to come back? Like last time he did a special, it's wildly held that it's the most inappropriate fucking thing anyone's ever done.
I feel like Eddie has grown so much in so many different directions. I don't use grown necessarily as a good thing, just like he has changed in so many different ways. We'll see what this is. Is it going to be his more old school type comedy, or is it going to be kind of a meta look at how he's changed, how the industry's changed, and all that?
Some sort of retrospective.
It could be interesting.
I would love that. I would love for him to get real about what his life was like back then and how he's changed and why he hasn't done comedy in so long. What I don't want is him to do an Ellen DeGeneres special where it's clearly written by someone else. She didn't rehearse it that much, and it just is like there's nothing there for me.
I loved her special.
I couldn't get through it.
I thought she nailed it.
I love Ellen to death. I think she's a national treasure, and I was just like, this is okay.
I thought that was one of the better specials to come out in the last year.
Really? I don't know.
I'll say
couldn't get into it.
I will, Greg, I'll say my favorite joke from the Dave Chappelle special.
Sure.
Was him talking about gun issues in America, and we need to find a way. We need to fix this issue. There's too much gun violence, and us as Black Americans need to go out and register to buy a weapon. Because like you think he's gonna say and vote these people out, buy a weapon, because if every Black person in America has a gun, this shit will be banned immediately. And I thought that line was like so fucking brilliant.
Again,
dude.
that's a brilliant take, and he has a couple takes on like the Jesse Smollett stuff that I thought was actually really funny.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Yeah,
because and that's the thing. Dave's at his best when he's sort of like letting you in on the what's like letting you be in the know, where he's letting you in on like the joke that you just don't think of. But yeah, I mean, I'll agree. Again, you said you had your criticism, and I went in sort of thinking like, okay, this is going to be intense, and there was some of it that really was disappointing. But overall, I thought it was a solid special.
I went in only hearing all the like criticism of it, so I was like, oh shit, this is going to be rough, because I already had my problems with some of his other ones, and I started watching them like, this is not that bad. Like a lot of these jokes are funny. Some of them I heard a million times. Like I still expect better of you, but like. I just feel like it's so hit or miss, where it's like there'll be a moment of the gun joke, which I thought I've never heard that before, and that's great. And then there'll be moments where it's just like the Chinese person in the Black person's body. It's just like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But Eddie Murphy hosting SNL December 21st. No date I can find for his Netflix thing, but I would imagine you're timing it around that, obviously. That'd be a while.
I would think so.
Also worth pointing out, too, in this New York Times piece here, it's talking about he did bury the hatchet just in time to make a short sentimental appearance on the SNL 40th anniversary special in 2015.
Okay. My apologies.
So, but it's still a huge deal he's coming back to host. He's never done that.
I do remember that appearance, actually.
Because he's been invited back a lot.
Where were you about
to
20
host.
minutes ago on the podcast?
I don't know. Sorry, I forgot about that. But I remember it.
Like you forget.
Too late. It didn't help.
You didn't give me a chance to mention it.
I'm giving you guys all the runway you wanted for this podcast.
I remembered that. I tried to mention
You forget though how big of a deal Eddie Murphy used to be. Like he's still a relatively big deal as far as
but
like everyone knows him.
In the 80s, he owned.
I mean, he's like credited for like saving SNL.
Yeah.
He was fucking Michael Jordan, dude. Like, not fucking Mike. He wasn't fucking him.
Hey, if he did, it's cool.
But he was basically Michael Jordan back then. Like, he was a giant name that was on an astronomical level of celebrity.
So big.
Yeah. And it all just kind of, I mean, I guess he continued into Nutty Professor, so I can't say it really came crashing down.
No, I mean, I think
that was super popular.
I think the twilight of his career has been amazing. Like, I think all those series that he's done that are more kid-oriented have just, they've been
Dr.
great.
Dolittle.
I watched the Dr. Dolittles. I watched the Clumps. I watched all those.
Did you know?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I watched them all. I mean, I love Eddie Murphy, so I was like, I'll go with you on this ride of Boomerang and all these other movies that followed Boomerang. Actually, Boomerang, that's a poor example. That's a great. I'm thinking of the one Metro, where he was like, "I want to be a cop," and I'm like, "Oh, you can't be a cop."
What was the one with where he had the braces?
Goldfinger, yeah.
Bowfinger. I loved Bowfinger.
So good.
I love that movie.
But like the thing about Eddie that I think is going to be hard is for him to come back is that I don't think he realizes how important it is to let go of that perception of yourself as being a AAA star. We don't have that anymore. AAA stars can appear on TV, in YouTube videos. They can go to clubs. They can be on Twitter. They can have their own YouTube channel. They can do all these things. And I think he's just not there yet. And that's my big question is he going to be able to adapt to coming back to not only being a household name, but someone who is synonymous through all these platforms?
Yeah.
I don't know. I doubt it.
The big problem is with these celebrities is it hits a point where their stand-up isn't comedy. It's just the celebrity talking on stage. Like Kevin Hart at this point is not comedy anymore. It's just, I'm Kevin Hart. I'm just going to talk for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that was my criticism with Ellen's too, where she was like, I'm just going to talk about being Ellen. I was like, that's cool for the first 20 minutes.
I thought she nailed that. Whereas like some of the Kevin Hart stuff, it's like, all right, like you just
bring out the Rock.
It doesn't, it feels very much like at any moment the Rock could come out and like, it's like more of like a hype moment than a, tuned comedy special.
Luckily, he's okay. He got into a really bad car.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that at all.
He had like major back injuries in a car
When did
wreck.
this happen?
Like Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. But his wife came out and said, no, he's going to be completely fine.
Was he? I didn't read the article, but he like bounced from the scene, right? Was he drunk?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Another car hit them and bounced.
But I think he left the scene. He fled the scene, didn't he? That's what someone was telling me.
I don't think he could. He was like so fucked up that he was just like, yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
She phrased it.
I just didn't know if it was like a substance
Reading
thing.
from CNN here, updated this. Actor, comedian Kevin Hart and 2 others were involved in a car crash in Calabasas, California, early Sunday, according to California Highway Patrol. Hart and the driver, Jared Black, sustained major back injuries and were transported to nearby hospitals for treatment, the report states. Black was driving Hart's 1970 Plymouth Barracuda, according to the report, when he lost control of the vehicle. It went off the road and rolled down an embankment. 2 of the 3 occupants were trapped inside the vehicle. Hart left the scene to his nearby residence to get medical attention, the report states. Patrol officers determined that Black was not under the influence of alcohol at the time of the collision. The 3rd occupant did not suffer any substantial injuries. CNS contact representatives. Hart's wife, Iniko Parrish, told TMZ in a video interview on Monday that her husband was going to be just fine. Hart bought the Plymouth back in July as a 40th birthday gift to himself.
That's gorgeous.
Unique
That's
New
too
York.
bad. That is a gorgeous Barracuda.
I'm sure he can afford another one when the time comes.
No, I know.
In an Instagram post Saturday, he wrote that he was happy to not be traveling over the holiday weekend. Oh, it's him jumping into a pool.
God, his house is
Well, I'm happy
amazing.
we'll see more.
I'm glad he's okay.
We'll see more of him in Fast and
Don't
Furious.
spoil it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they didn't see the movie, they don't know he's even in it, you know?
No, they know by now.
They know by now.
They know. Let them know.
They watched our review.
Do you know, Andy? Do you know?
Who our sponsors are?
Exactly. Let's find out. Crushed it.
One of my favorite things is that sometimes you go, our sponsors. Okay, we're back, and people try to figure out if you moved.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Comments, people are like, he almost didn't move. It's almost perfect.
Next week for sure. I will not remember. But 1 week I will do that. I will not move on purpose, all right? Tim, what do you want to talk about?
Another thing that happened to us when we were in Toronto. Me and Andy, we're walking, and we saw some kids with backpacks. And it got me thinking. I'm like, how crazy is it that never again in our lives do we have to go to school?
Unless you want to.
Do we have to deal with... Yeah, but I mean, we don't have to, though.
Sure. Yeah.
None of us at this table are ever going back to school.
Dude, it's to the point where I've had friends that are like, I'm going to go back and get my master's degree. And I'm like, why? Why would you do this to yourself? When I graduated college, I had a moment the next day. Remember that next day when you woke up and you're like, I don't have fucking anything to do. I don't have to be anywhere. I have a job.
Okay, I was going to say, I had a job like 2 days away.
But I don't have, I'm done. I don't ever have to go to a class I don't want to go to anymore. Yeah, I got to go to the shitty job that I'm probably going to get fired from twice.
This is when you punch the point of sales.
Yeah, and then I called the manager a bitch. It was not my best hour. That was a different restaurant.
I was still at Best Buy.
But
when this happened, you were probably 4 years old. All right.
I just can't imagine going to school.
I mean, it's just such a fundamental shift in your life where it's like school is so important to you for so long. I mean, even at this point,
21 years of your life.
At this point in our age, like for all of us, it's at least half of our lives that we had to go to school, go through this function, this pomp and circumstance of doing the test, doing homework, having to stress about summer reading, having to worry about classes you have to get the next semester.
Reading was the worst. Why are you invading my summer?
I don't want to read where the red fern grows. I don't care where it grows.
Stupid. Where does it grow?
I'm not a botanist.
Somebody just Google it.
Exactly.
Okay, if I have tomorrow.
Yeah, it's about the dead dogs.
But like all the processes that we'll never have to worry about, whether it's doing homework, doing the reading, picking classes, stressing about, finals coming up, like all of that. It's just, we just don't have that. It's like
great.
things are different now.
The
Like, we
other
have
things to stress about.
new other things to stress about, and just like work and life and just all the health issues and things. But it's like
Adult shit.
school is just such a shared experience that everybody has. And then all of a sudden you don't.
I look back on that and I'm like, why was it so long? You know,
It was so long.
it was so long. 4 years of college. Why?
I'll never forget my
Why?
friend's mom getting really pissed off at me when we were in their car. It was me and my friend and his mom driving somewhere, and I was like, why do we have to go to school for 9 months, 8 months out of the year? Like, it's just taking away our lives. And she was like, no. She was like getting it out of.
Because she was like this. Because I'm a mom. I don't want to deal with you from the hours of 8 to 3.
No,
So
she
you
was
get your
basically
ass
just
to
like,
school.
look, this shit is important. And she was like trying to get it out of my friend's head that like, hey, don't believe in what Andy
Andy's
says.
like, let's go be in a
That was
band.
the last time Andy was ever in that carpool.
Well, no, it's actually the same family where like it got late at night one time.
Okay.
Ooh, you sure you want to hear this one?
I think I told you this. I think I mentioned this already on like maybe an old GOG, but like
They all
I was
turned
at
into werewolves.
I was at this family's house, and it was getting late at night. It was a summer day. It was a weekday during the summer, and the dad walked in the room and was like, "Hey, so your parents going to pick you up?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get in touch with them." He was like, "All right, well, you got to figure out a way to get home." So I was like, "What do you mean? Like what?"
I've never heard this story.
No, I've never heard the story
it was
either.
just this
as
weird-
opposed to him being like, okay, I'll take you home if it gets too late.
or I'll take you home, or just stay here, or whatever. It was a summer. Like
Maybe that was his way of saying like it's time for you to leave.
It definitely was.
No, that's what it was. That's
It was
what I'm
100%
saying.
that.
Yeah.
But it was like
Which is
it was,
not what you do to children.
But it was so bizarre because it was like these are all of
Unless
our
you're my mom.
These are all of our friends. Like any of my other friends' family members would be like, "I'll just stay here if you want." Like no worries, no problem. But he was like, "All right, well guys, guess you gotta find a way. Keep calling your dad, I guess And I was just
Wait, how old were you?
maybe like 13.
That's so weird.
It was really weird.
That's not weird
yeah.
to me at all. Here's why. Elena Scarpino, God bless her, my mom. She would be like, "You guys are welcome for you stay forever, stay forever." Then there was just a switch that would get turned where she would like, "Okay, everyone, it's time to go home. It's time to go home." And I respected her for that because I was like, I want these fuckers out of here too. Like I don't want my friends hanging out for
You
4
were
days
always
straight.
Nick, weren't you?
What's that?
You were always Nick.
Always. I was like, you have been here for 2 days and you've eaten almost all of the lasagna, and that is my fucking lasagna. So go home. Go home. But I always respected my mom's candor where she would be like, she was a mom. She would walk in and be like, it's time to go home. And my friends were like, I am not going to question this because she was scary. And
But
she's still super scary.
Did they have ways home though?
I mean, I don't think that was, yes, for the most part, parents would come pick them up or she would drive them home.
Yeah.
That was
'Cause
always
that's
the
what
thing.
makes this weird.
Yeah.
Is that it's just like
No,
So did you finally get in touch with your folks?
I think my dad was asleep by this point
check?
already. So I was calling my brother, but my brother wasn't answering. And so what I did was his neighbor was one of our other friends. So I called him. I was like, "Hey, can I go over to your place and just like wait around for someone to pick me up?" He was like, "Yeah, of course." So I just like walked down to the next house, which is another one of our good friends. And I just waited there until my brother like eventually.
Yeah, the whole first family sucks.
It was
I don't like
it was,
the mom in the car trying to
was-
get the bad ideas out of her kid's head.
It was weird. It was definitely like a weirder thing where that showed me that I was like, oh, we're not as close as I thought we were. Like,
Yeah.
anybody else's family members would like treat me a certain way or whatever.
Sure.
And they're always
You're
cool.
Andy.
We're like family. Like
You're like Kramer. You're everybody's Kramer, you know?
Yeah, I guess if everybody was like, if anybody goes to my house, like my parents are like, just stay.
Oh, yeah, my
whatever,
parents were
no
the exact same
problem,
way.
you know.
Yeah.
So it was like that. I was like, oh, that was
As long as you didn't
weird.
fuck up the lawn, there's
Weird
no problem.
situation.
only rules.
Number one crane operator, Greg Miller, big problem if you fuck up the lawn.
Oh my God, we always played on the side of the house. We always played football, or we played like home run derby, where if you could hit it across the street, we would throw like a wiffle ball and like a plastic bat, or a tennis ball. We'd also do tennis balls, and the fucking lawn was just getting ruined nonstop. But we were in like there wasn't a whole lot of space between one house and the other, so a lot of times you would just hit it off the next house like brick or whatever. And we had like first base and second base and third base. Anyway, back to school. When I graduated, my first thought was like, I have 6 months until my student loans start. I'm gonna chill out for the next 6 months.
I'm not gonna save anything
because like the government lets you know like, hey, you have a 6 month grace period until the first payment starts to come in, and it was always in the back of my mind. It was like knowing that you had an essay due or something.
How horrible
you know?
that must feel. That's terrible.
That's scary.
I'll never forget when I was at IGN my first couple of years. IGN, when they got bought by Fox, had a program where they would pay for like education stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. And I found this course for After Effects, which is one of the reasons why I kind of got good at it, was because I was like, I'd been good at it up to that point, but I'm like, oh, this will be something I can take that'll force me to kind of sharpen the tool a little bit and sharpen my skills with it. And I'll never forget, I went in and it was one of the first classes I ever took where I was like, I don't have to be here. I'm choosing to be here. I'm not paying for this. And I'm enjoying the shit out of this class. And I was like the best. I was like Hermione.
Yeah, that's not school at that point. At that point, that's just like,
no, it was just fun. I was just like, oh, I'm coming here. But it was eye opening because I'm like, this is not how it always has been historically. It's usually been, oh, I take this stupid math class. Oh, I have to take this stupid like film history class. Like I want classes that really speak to me. But at the college, and this is granted, I went to a college that I probably should have transferred out of and gone to a more technical based college. But I'm like, I just don't understand why. Out of the 4 years of college, maybe 10% is stuff that spoke to me. And the other 90% is just shit I had to do. That just seems broken.
Ross Gates writes into patreon.com/kindafunny and says, is college really worth it? I'm considering going to grad school after I finish my senior year at university. I majored in creative writing. Is it worth the time and money to continue my education?
I would say for creative writing, probably not. I think if you're going to go to grad school, you get an MBA, or you're going to go to a school to get like a PhD or be able to teach. Maybe if you're going to do continued education because you want to be a doctor, that's probably something that's going to pay back. Although I've seen a couple articles pop up saying like doctors are having a hard go of it now too, just as far as like paying back student loans.
Sure.
But for me, like my brother went and got his MFA. Because he wanted to get better at his craft and he wanted to study with specific people that made him better and are still his mentors to this day. That makes sense. If you're just going to get your master's because you can't think of something better to do, don't waste the money.
Yeah, that was my thing. I never at all considered grad school for journalism. I mean, granted, I knew I wanted to write about games or whatever, and I figured I could do it with just a regular bachelor's degree in journalism. But even I don't know. For me, I feel like the grad school stuff was always people coming back to Mizzou. Like they went off, they did work for a while, and then eventually found a reason that they wanted to come back and be a TA and teach and be part of the journalism program again while getting their master's or whatever. But it seems like such an academic thing. If you want creative writing for academics, maybe. But I don't even then. I don't even know.
There just has to be an end goal. Like I totally agree with what you're saying, Nick. That's where it's like,
don't do it to do it.
I'm going to do this because it's going to get me this thing that I'm already on the path for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do anything I have to do to get to that destination. Because I have some friends who did that. Gia's a perfect example. Totally bettered her life.
Yeah.
Like turned her life from doing stuff that she doesn't want to do, that's paychecks, to doing what she loves for much bigger paychecks. Yeah. But then I have other friends who, one of my best friends is just going to grad school now. And I'm like, but why? And he's just like, oh, I don't know. I'm not really happy at work. It's like, okay.
That's not the way to do it.
And
You're just getting yourself into more debt.
Yeah, totally. I'm just like, you're going to fuck yourself.
I had a friend of mine that, because I graduated from a film theory program, so we had absolutely zero applicable skills in the real world and no network whatsoever because our school wasn't great at that. But I had a friend of mine that just stayed. We all graduated. Some of my friends split off, went to LA and found odd jobs here and there. Then I had one friend that just stayed in academia all the way up till her PhD for like film archival. And I'm like, that's really cool. But if you always want to be like, if you have a love of like, oh my God, I found this old 35 millimeter print of like Citizen Kane. It's the last one in existence. We have to make sure this is preserved in the Library of Congress perfectly. I get that. But all my other friends were like, we have a theory that she's just scared to go into the real world and work in film. So you find a reason to stay in academia forever. And then eventually you go, well, I got to get my PhD so I can go teach. Yeah. And then you are sometimes feeding into the old adage, like those who can't teach, because you look at these people like the professors that I admired the most were the ones that were working, and they were like donating their time or substituting some of their time over as like an adjunct professor at like USC or something like that. But they were like screenwriters who actually worked. Those are the ones that I wanted to learn from. It was always the people that I was like, it's like if you're studying fighting and you're studying from someone who's never been in a tournament before. You're like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if you necessarily have the proper perspective on this that's going to help me be the fighter that I want to be.
It's like Finnegan's editing teacher in college was Kyle from Workaholics.
Yeah, that's awesome.
From that group. And it's like he was doing that while teaching Finnegan's class, and it's just like he deeply gives a shit
that's
about
a guy
editing.
Who gets it, who knows the game and knows how to teach you how to make the moves to get to a place that maybe you have Workaholics on TV one day too.
As opposed to me, Professor Al teaching me Final Cut when everyone had moved on to Premiere. And it's like, guys,
well,
what are we doing
at least
here?
you got Final Cut. I got like Media 100, where it would crash the computer every time you booted it up. It was the worst.
Yeah,
I think I think college is worth it if you, again, like Tim made a great point, knowing what the end goal is. I think that so much of what we do can be self-taught with all the resources the internet has. I think of I think if I were to have stayed at home and just tried to learn 3D art through like a digital tutors or a website like that, I feel like I probably could have taught myself, because at the end of the day, if your portfolio is good enough, people are going to want to hire you. Yeah. I do think it's also a big risk, because I feel like I got my job not only because of my skills, but because of who I knew. And sometimes you do meet these people, like, you were mentioning with Finnegan and that Kyle guy. Well, one of my teachers was a guy who got me my first job, who was like, I'm leaving my studio. I want you to replace me because I know you have what it takes. And sometimes you make those connections, and that's where I feel like college does really benefit you, having those communities, as opposed to online forums and maybe just talking with people there. I feel like that person-to-person interaction is really important.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing for me, is like, as we've done the show now for years, like we've talked about school, we've talked about this topic in a bunch of different ways. And something that I've noticed as I get older is people that I meet that didn't go to college, generally, to me, in my experience,
dirtbags.
No, they seem ill-equipped for certain things. Sure. Compared to people that at least went through some. Because I do feel that the first 2 years of college that are the bullshit, where you just have to, it's still high school. It's just high school 2.0,
Right.
It's the basics. Those are the 2 years that everyone's kind of given as the figure it out.
Those are the 2 years the college makes all its money.
It's like, totally. But it's like, it's the 2 years of like proving that you can function as an adult and be social and understand responsibility and timing and all that stuff. And I've noticed that the people that have at least done that have their life together a little bit more compared to people that don't. And again, I'm totally generalizing, but there's been multiple situations now where I'm like, I'll notice patterns in people and I'm like, have they went to college? And then I find out they don't. And I'm like,
these group projects suck, but yes, they are kind of important to interact.
To understand that people suck.
Understand work dynamics.
I mean, I think about this. If I ever had a kid, would I encourage them to go to college if they wanted to be like in the arts? And I think the answer to me would be yes, but with the asterisk, with the notion of you go, but you need to have some level of vision for what you want your life to be. Because the people that I admire most are guys like Greg, who was like, I want to be a journalist, because Clark Kent's alter ego was a journalist.
That's right. No, that's incorrect.
I'm sorry, Superman's alter ego was a journalist. I'm sorry. Fact checking right there. Look at you, editor.
Journalist.
And so, that's something I admire, because I didn't have that vision. Like Greg was like, I want to be a journalist, so I'm going to go to. But I think. That to me is the thing that I would try to instill most in a young one.
Yeah.
If they were coming up, I'd be like, what do you really got to find something you like, because that can make or break your college experience. Because my college experience was meh.
That's my thing. Is like I think granted, we're taking Ross's question in a different route. I think.
Fuck
but like,
Ross. You know what I mean?
when you get to that precipice of like, should you go to college or not? You should go to college when you have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
It's always. I was talking to somebody at a meet and greet recently who's like, oh yeah, I'm a sophomore year. How cool do you want to do that? I don't know. And it's like, oof. That's dangerous. You're just wasting money, right? Because when you do change where you want to go or what you want to do.
But the 2 years, it's like it's designed that way for you to get all the socializing, you get all that, but you're also literally given the time to decide if you don't have it already. Sure. If you have it already, if you're lucky, you can skip that 2 years and go to a trade school if you're going to do art stuff. Art is obviously such a different beast than something else, but if you're doing journalism, go down that path. Find the right school for that. If you're going to be a doctor, like all my friends that are doctors now knew they were going to be doctors. Started down that path when we were 18, and here they are now, making baller money.
So I guess that's the thing with Ross. Yeah, I think, especially for creative writing and what you want to do with that, I wouldn't say go to grad school, but I also don't know what you want to do with it. But I would think it would be more about trying to get out there and do it now and do it for different people. Yeah, I mean, start small and then move on to the.
I think continue to apply at places. I think depending on whatever you want to be, whether you want to work at a game studio to be a writer or movies or whatever,
advertising,
always work on that. Always have that be your side hustle, where you are not only writing for people, freelancing, but also just bolstering your own thing. Like it became a thing where I didn't have a job yet in the games industry, and I had just graduated and I was still working at Best Buy. But every night I would go home and the grind sucked, but I would go home and work on my portfolio. Yeah. And I would look at some concept art on a website on whatever, polycount.net. And I would see that some guy made some really cool concept art. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make that in 3D tonight. Cool. Let me challenge myself and let me get the textures right and everything. And that would be a new piece that I would add toward my portfolio that would in the future get me a job.
I used to TiVo commercials that had cool motion graphics and go back and replay them, and then I would Google tutorials to see if I could figure out how to do them.
Video Copilot, man.
Video Copilot, creativecow.net was another one. But this is way back in the day before YouTube even existed. And I would be so disappointed because I was like hardcore Team After Effects. And there was always a moment where I'd have the realization that that's 3D. I'm like, fuck, I can't do it.
That's a layer deeper.
Damn it, it's too much.
How does it make you feel, Nick, that Creative Cow still exists?
I go to it sometimes.
And hasn't updated their website since
the UI?
2001.
Yeah, it's still
Do you know
horrible.
this website, Creative Cow? I mean, it's just like, if you do any type of this shit, like,
Just creativecow.com.
anytime you have a problem in any
I wanna say
editing
it.
software, you Google, like, how to fix, like, why is this crashing? And Creative Cow's going to come up.
Yeah, that's
It
the cow.
looks pretty new.
Oh, they updated it finally.
Well, there you go.
It looks like
hilarious.
there's like 15 pop-ups.
That's what the old one looks
go to
like.
the
Kevin
forums,
Proskauer,
Kev.
the old one. Well, this is what everyone I've ever seen looks
new
like.
Creative Cow.
Where it's just a
Taking flight.
terrible thread
Yeah,
of After Effects
Jesus.
stuff. But I mean, shout out to these guys,
the
and
job
shout out to
done,
people
bro.
who did this shit for free. And that was that's so amazing. And that's why I think it's so hard. Like when you find that passion, it's so easy to lean into it, but it's so difficult to find. You know, like once I found After Effects, I spent hours doing tutorials. Just from start to finish. It would be like a 15-minute tutorial. It would take me 2 hours to get through because I have to pause and roll it back and find all the stuff. It's so cool.
I had fun with that shit. But yeah, again, going back to what were we making comparisons to Harry Potter going to classes, or were I just making that comparison in my head?
I think you were making that in your head.
Yeah, I made that in my head. How you get excited to go to like Defense of the Dark Arts or like
fuck potions.
that's how it was when I first got into 3D sculpting, where like I was tired of working in with primitives is what they call it, where it's like the primitive block, the sphere, whatever, and grabbing this poly and pulling it out. Now it was like sculpt your hand in 3D. And it's 3D clay basically, and it's like, oh, I'm learning the real shit. This is the real shit. This is how Nathan Drake looks, how he looks.
Yeah.
And that shit was so cool to me.
That's so cool. But and also just seeing the skill level rise from like the very first thing you've done to then seeing all those little foundational things build on each other.
Yeah.
Which I think is the only reason why I would be pro college, which is to your point is like, yeah, you're learning how to operate in a system, and you're learning how to like get along with a group and do group stuff and like follow orders, for lack of a better term. But they also have a curriculum that builds on itself. And that's so hard to do when you're by yourself. I would jump into tutorials that were way too advanced for me and be lost and get very discouraged. So there is that warning.
I hated high school, right? I just hated it because I thought it was a huge waste of time because I was just being forced to do stuff I knew I wouldn't ever use or need. Geometry, shit like that, right? Yeah. But when I got to Mizzou, it was so structured and so laid out of like, these are your gen ed requirements, but you can see how that builds to this. And then you start taking your J school classes and you see how J, for whatever, when I was in class, 100 builds into J 200 and how that, and I was like, oh, fuck, all right, there's a path to what I want to do rather than my high school path was just get the fuck out.
It was so exciting for me to see the curriculum laid out like in front of me and seeing what I needed and knowing that like this 3D class leads into intro to 3D modeling, into 3D sculpting, and then it's hard surface modeling, and now I'm making guns, and now I'm making cool fucking like 3D sci-fi environmental things. And like seeing that curriculum was like exciting as fuck to me because I knew that I was going to continue to get better, and you'd be in class and there'd be a couple of kids in class that had already had 3D classes in the past, and you would see their skill level. And I'd be like, I want to be better than that guy. I want to be better than her. Like, and I would fucking work my ass off.
Dude, at SF State, which is known for being good for video production stuff and audio production, like BECA's what they call it, broadcast, electronic communication arts, like all that stuff. They're really renowned for it. And I remember seeing the curriculum laid out for me, like, this is going to be fucking awesome. Intro to audio, intro to video, and then as you build, like, hosting and all this stuff. And when I finally did it, I'm like, what a fucking joke this is. Like, that was when it hit the point for me, unfortunately, where I was just like, I should just be doing tutorials and stuff. Because it's like, it's outdated tech. You're not really learning anything that you need to know.
You're probably learning
it's
from
like
people
great.
who don't
I
really know
learned
what
that
the
a
fuck they're
clothespin
talking
is
about.
actually a C47 or whatever the hell in the production books. It's like, you learn a bunch of shit that the old guys just want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, just to act like there's something that matters here. But it's like, just go do the thing.
But that's why I'm glad
I learned more at IGN in literally one semester than I did my entire 2 years of the video production.
That's why I'm so
Nick
glad.
Scarpino.
That's why I'm so glad I had the younger teacher towards the end of my curriculum, because a lot of the older classes were taught by the old guard, like people that were still using like not older software, but using older strategies and older techniques to make 3D things. And then towards the end of it, when the new teacher found this out, he's like, what? Like, no, that's not what's being taught anymore. That's not what it is. I'm working here on this shit, and that's not how we do it. Here's how we do it.
Well, it's a perfect
and learning
example
that shit
of
was awesome.
Tim talking about Final Cut, that's a perfect example. That professor kept teaching you that because that's what he knew.
Yeah.
Not
And that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And like, they weren't teaching internet video at all. And it's just like the idea of HD even was just like, oh, you can only get HD if it's broadcast, and they would have all the weird like interlaced versus non-interlaced, and they're like literally telling us to do things that I'm like, this is so behind the times.
not right.
They're like, you're making us produce lesser quality stuff just because it needs to be able to be broadcast on TV. I'm like, none of us are doing that.
Nope.
Don't fucking.
We're not
worry.
getting jobs on TV.
Yeah, and if you do, it's not the shit that they were trying to do.
On this subject line of school, ladies and gentlemen, I have homework for you, listeners and viewers of the Kind of Funny podcast. Adam Volker, a man making a game called Creature in the Well. You like it quite a bit, right?
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to him at PAX, and he told me, he challenged me, and I'm challenging all of you and you, Table, for next week's podcast.
Make my next game for me.
To come up, he says we need a one-syllable word for the chef's kiss. For the... Like we need a word for we have to invent the word. We're coming up with the word. So everybody,
MWAH.
I need you to start
Skeezins.
thinking on this right now as you drive, as you do everything. Kevin's got one already. Look at him over there.
Can I ask why is 2 syllables too much?
Because this is what he said,
Okay.
and I thought it was an interesting challenge. All right.
I mean, I normally just go, oh, that game was fucking chef's kiss.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I say that.
It's too much. It's too much. You have
It's
to
too much.
People say chef's kiss.
Because if you do it in person, right? But on podcasting, right there, and then you say
You
chef
just say
kiss.
it's chef's kiss.
I'm telling you, he's challenged us to come up with the English language.
Tasty.
All right? I like where your head's at, all right? I like where your head's at, too. I'll see you afterwards. Go to patreon.com/kindoffunny. You can submit your answers. We need a one-syllable new word for chef's kiss.
There you go. That's fun. I like those.
Thank you.
I'm terrible at
Thank
them,
you
though.
for playing along and having some fun.
I'm with you, man.
Tim, why?
I just feel like there needs to be. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be like these fucking words.
Let's see what they come up
challenge you.
with.
Come up
They're
with some
more
good
creative
shit
than us.
It's just such a weird thing. One syllable. Let's limit this to like the least amount of
Well,
conversation
guess what?
possible.
He's made a video game and you've
Yeah,
made
yeah.
jack fucking shit in your
That's
life,
true.
all right?
That's true.
You can't even wear contacts anymore.
I can't.
Turn 30, the body turned on you, all right?
One of your eyes just pops out of its socket and hangs there. It's like, don't forget your other homework is to go and watch that dirtiest porn ever.
Yeah, also true. Yeah,
And
we all have
donate
to,
to
we
clean
have to
up,
remember to FaceTime Nick while you do it.
Please do it. And also, don't listen to the moans that I make. And just remember that every time you watch that porn is one step closer we get to cleaning up all the plastic in the sea life and getting our fucking plastic straws back.
That's true.
Getting our plastic
There
straws
has
back.
been a lot of talk at the G4 Summit that if we just get it back down, everyone can get their plastic straws back.
Man, it's become like a cryptic thing where if my Starbucks has the plastic straws, I go, oh, you guys, and I go, shh, shh, shh. Don't fucking tell anyone.
We don't say the words. We don't say the words.
We found. Like,
It's like
dude,
prohibition.
We found a box of these plastics in the back. Man, don't tell anyone.
McDonald's.
Just
Paper
don't give a fuck.
straws.
No. No.
Yeah. McDonald's has paper straws, and they don't even give you them.
No, you have to ask
You
for
need
them.
to ask. They'll give you your fucking cup with the fountain thing and not give you a straw.
How are you supposed, what am I
Andy.
supposed to suck it out like it's a little anus?
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been the Kind of Funny podcast. Remember, if you want to support us because YouTube sucks,
what I'm
you
passionate
can go
about.
to patreon.com/kindoffunny. Get the pre and post show, get the show ad free, get it early. However, if you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. It goes live on Friday, youtube.com/kindoffunny, and podcast services chock full of ads, no pre or post show. Sometimes we delete half of what Andy says just to make you, go, whoa, man. That's
What he said this week.
Wow, weird. I love him.
Did Andy even go to college?
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. Let's do a post show.
Everyone needs to watch Patriot Act this week.
Is it on plastic straws?
He's just been upping
water.
every week to week. It's just like better and better and better. And this week's was fantastic. He just goes in on Canada, talking a lot of shit about them and their straws.
Good.
Mr.
Cameron-
Yasman asked if the new chef's kiss word can be sexual. I would encourage it to be.
Yeah. Cameron Kennedy says, "Why is this the hill that Nick has to die on?" It's just because
I guess there's a lot of those hills.
I had the same reaction when they stopped giving us bags. We had to bring our own bags. And spoilers, I'm fine with it now. I just bring my bags everywhere, and I actually prefer them because they don't break.
Yeah.
Which is great. The plastic straw thing, in all honesty, it affects Starbucks, but only if they don't have the sipper cup. I'm fine with the sipper cup. Is it as good as a straw?
Absolutely
no,
not.
Absolutely not. But
I'll give it
have
to
I
the
always
turtles,
thought,
though.
oh my God, this straw. I have in my life used a straw and be like, this is fucking wasteful. This is stupid. Why can't I could just drink out of this cup? Why do I feel the need to put the straw in there? But again, it's like, I think most of the time we have to strike the balance between being adults and being children and people have to tell us what's right. And we go, okay, we'll conform. I'm just in the middle of changing, that's all. So just deal with my temper tantrums.
Well, the thing
okay?
with the bags, though, is you pay 10 cents, you get the bag.
You can get it back, yeah.
Yeah.
I would pay 10 cents for the straw.
not
I
just
understand
paper.
that. What's up?
No, they brought plastic back.
Did they bring plastic?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a weird plastic. They're like, oh, we got these. I'm like, why? Aren't those terrible? And they're like, oh, they're more durable. I'm like, we're just full
Motherfuckers
circle.
just making money, man. That's all it is.
It's
Make
like,
money,
did you see that
money.
SFO took all the bottles? You can't get bottled water in SFO anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that crazy?
I'm interested in seeing this.
But yeah, you saw that it's not really true because Jen bought one. It's just an aluminum bottle now.
It's like, great. Let's just find new ways to charge you more money.
Yep. It's all bullshit.
Or you just bring your bottle. It'll be fine. That's what I do.
I'm thinking about it. A little analogy in action.
Chance Carter
no
says,
BPMs.
yo, Patriot Act has went from great to monumental real fast. I absolutely agree.
I want to be Hassan Minaj so bad. I just want to be his height with a hairline. And his like, he has the hip hop
Some
hands that
great hair.
he uses. And I'm like, his hip hop
Super
hands are on
skinny.
point. Super skinny. Looks great in Jordans. Everything I'm not.
I love him so
Talented, smart. I wonder how big his team is that works on that show. Like
if
the
you look
writers.
in the credits are, because of course I give a shit about this so
Oh,
much.
naturally.
Like it's broken down really intricately on like who's doing what. It's interesting stuff.
That's
Because
aw-
obviously they have to have a motion graphics team that is on fucking money.
Yeah, they're great. Let's see. Let's see. Wow. Evan May says straws became a thing because drinks would get cold from hand heat, so you could drink with a straw and not touch it. But now ice exists. I don't know if that's
It would get
accurate.
warm from hand heat.
Well, did I say cold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said
typed
cold. Yeah.
Lemon
I don't
just
know.
texted me something.
Yeah.
And I looked over at him before the image loaded, and I just see him like,
Do you see a little pee-pee?
and it's just, it's just like, it's the fucking,
Is it a Lulu girl?
Yeah.
God damn. Good for her.
Muscle she's flexing.
what is that muscle?
There, yeah.
That's the thing
Kevin, I
about
just got Android 10,
nude
man.
people.
Oh, it's so hot. It's
You
so
look at
great.
nude people sometimes, and I'm like, damn, like you look like the fucking Renaissance. Like, you know, when people would sit there and like to
Like the
make people out of marble. And again, like I understand, haha, Greta doesn't watch that much porn. I was in this video incredibly distracted by her back.
Oh,
because her
sexy as
back
fuck.
is so muscular and like fuck, she looks like a superhero.
Also,
It's like,
she's
you know,
tan, which makes it all look a little bit better.
probably.
Little toit.
Oh, I know. I think again, we're coming around with celebrating the naked body in this country. We haven't quite come all the way around, but we're coming around.
It's our
where
generation.
It's okay. It is our
Once in a while,
generation.
old people
You're
die.
right. Yeah.
Let all the old people die
them
and
off.
let fucking free the nipple for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Put nips
Free
on
it.
Instagram.
Try to move the muscle she's moved in the video.
I don't think I have that muscle, Kevin.
Oh wait, there you go.
What is it?
Danny
Am I doing-
Tamayo says the way Tim described SF State is what everyone I've said says about Full Sail. I didn't go to Full Sail, so I can't actually say anything about that. But the week we spent there, I could not disagree more. I was so hyped about being there and seeing the resources that they have, and like I say that as somebody that has the most impressive resources I could possibly need, the exception of bigger video walls and video floors like Hassan Minaj has.
Naturally.
But I thought Full Sail was fantastic.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about after us coming back. Obviously, I could literally like hold up a post right now. It's like babies are good, and people are like babies fucking suck. But like it was that thing of Full Sail. The alumni we talked to there, the students we talked to, the people who worked there, the community around it was like, it's fucking awesome here. Everything's amazing. We love this place, and I'm having a great time getting my education. And then it would be that we left, and it would be the comments are like, they're a pay to, not pay to win.
That's pretty much it, though.
But pay to play school? That's not right either. Or for-profit university, they suck. And there'd be a few people that were like, I hate that I went there and yada yada. I'm like, okay, that's hard for me to process based on what I saw there. Because again, I fucking run around talking about how much I love Mizzou. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like, I fucking hated my time at Mizzou.
I feel like I would have loved going there, and in a way that I did not love going to SF State.
Yeah, if they fucking have wrestling
Ow.
on campus. So yeah, you'd love it.
Yeah, that too. You see our girl's gone, Casey.
Oh no, where'd she go? She going to AEW?
Injured her back.
Oh.
And she's just out.
Oh.
Done. No more wrestling.
Whoa,
Oh,
really?
I thought you were talking
Like
Bachelor in
forever.
Paradise. I was like,
Casey
what are they making do?
Catanzaro?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just done forever?
That's sad.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's a hard
she's
career.
Did that
Retired
just
early.
happen?
Like 3 days ago, yeah.
Because I think I just unfollowed her somewhere.
fuck. Was that
It's
what
just
it is?
wrestling. No, it's just wrestling.
I
It's
thought
just
that was
people
what you
wrestling.
heard.
No,
about.
nothing like
Oh, no, that
there
is
wasn't a moment that happened that I know of.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Let's see. Da-da-da. What are people saying in the chat
Like,
over
why
here?
did she just tweet that though?
What's that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
feel like
her
that's the
most
move.
recent tweet 7 minutes ago. I'm going to do things people have never seen before.
Is she on
and it's her pulling a
NXT?
move.
It's weird. Yeah, she's NXT. But yeah, I mean, they put out a whole release about her leaving.
That's unfortunate.
But she does keep posting wrestling stuff, so I don't know.
Maybe.
But Ricochet is also still going, so I don't know.
Sure.
Evan May brings up a point. A lot of people use master's degrees to swap careers. A lot of people also get master's degrees because it'll give you a bump in your salary. A lot of people do that as well, so they have to. That's a possibility.
Cameron Kennedy, where did you go to school? Because you're really good.
School Hard Knocks.
School life.
Yeah. Like, did you do your video editing stuff in school, or did you just teach yourself?
I started Succession.
Oh, you know, I started watching that
season
too.
1?
What do you think?
You like it so far?
I
Season 1, it took. I should.
I do. I got like halfway through the first episode. It got way too late. It got way too late. But
perfect. Come back. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The thing
to
about
continue
that, it took us a second to learn, is like everybody seems like such slime balls, and with the exception of the father, pretty much everybody is. You can see how they got warped into being these people, but they actually you cheer for them in certain regards, and then boom, another thing.
I just couldn't get past the Kieran Culkin character. He's just kind of an
a cartoon.
irredeemable shithead. Yeah. It's a very cartoony. I don't like the tone of it. But I watched my wife was watching it, so I came in. I've seen a couple episodes. I saw like James Cromwell episode where he's like the older brother. He's fucking awesome.
I'm not that far in.
He's awesome.
Then at the end when they all die.
Whoa, damn! Started editing when he was like 10. That's crazy.
See, that's the world that we're in right now, man.
Natch,
Like there's a whole new generation
Shit.
because of YouTube.
How old are you?
It's funny. Dee and I were hanging out with my sister-in-law, who's in she's an administrator for college, and I was asking her like, what is it way different now than it was when we were going through school? She's like, yeah, it's totally different. Like we encourage kids to have like to Google stuff and to like. Dee brought up the joke you have in your stand-up set. Where like they always told me like you have to learn math because when am I ever gonna have a calculator in my pocket? And you're like, well, fuck you, mister, whatever it is. Like, and it's true. Like you have all those skills now, so they've had to shift curriculum, or at least the smart teachers have had to shift it and be like, we have to lean into this because this is the kids' future forever.
It's new math.
It is new math. What's wrong with old
Kevin,
math?
you've been watching that new HBO show?
Yes, the Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. Really good. Can't recommend it enough.
I've heard it's like super dark comedy.
Let's see.
I don't know if it's dark. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of dark. It's some fucked up shit happens. Andy, you like in the well game?
Creature in the Well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You beat it yet?
No, I'm pretty far though.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe 80% done.
What kind of game is it?
I'm on the last level.
Oh really? It's like a hack and slash sort of top down game where you're dashing and slashing and shit. But to get to the levels, it's like pinball. You're hitting these orbs that like hit off of pinball bumpers. It's fucking really cool. There's like shit flies at you and like you have to dodge them and
and people still tell me I have to play Hyper Light Drifter.
I mean, I only say that.
I've never heard of that.
A lot of people say it.
You have to watch Nirvana the band the show.
Miss Yasmin says, Tim, who's going to do the direct reaction with you? It'll be me and Greg tomorrow.
Boop, boop. Get hype.
They call Greg Mr.
What do we
Nintendo.
know about this direct? Did they say anything about it?
Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, 40 minutes. Plus more, like 2019, with a focus on 2019 games. Cool. Which means we're going to get some cool ass shit. We still don't have a December release. I imagine it'll be Super Mario 3D World.
Or, hear me out. They come and they're like, we're ahead of schedule. Animal Crossing's back 2019 December.
I mean, I highly doubt that, but that would be fucking cool. That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool, right?
It's taking so long because of all the ray tracing.
We're going to
Totally. The
get
Dolby.
Banjo release announcement probably, which I think will be coming out in the next week. And then we'll probably get the 4th DLC pack, which there's a whole bunch of hullabaloo going around.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Do you think it's possible that we get to see Ultimate Alliance stuff in action? Like the Marvel Knights stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that's fairly likely.
Oh, I'm fucking pumped now, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Andy, I need you to
They will announce
pick
the
up your
Smash
microphone like
character.
this and just knock me out till tomorrow, all right?
Tim,
Okay.
did you get the Disney Plus?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That means I got Disney Plus, right?
What? What does that mean?
I put Tim in charge of it for me.
Oh, really?
You know,
He's
it's
an
one of
adult
those
now.
things. A good CEO delegates, Gavin.
Does that mean the company's paying for it, or
No, it means we're
A
split.
great CEO.
is that a
Creates.
family thing?
No, I got it for us. For him.
This is .com.
.com /
KFMS.
Forhims.com. That was great. That was
Damn,
good
it's gonna
job,
be a good show
everybody.
tomorrow.
Oh man, you know, just let's cut the engines now. Save them, all right?
All right,
You guys go get ready for your
That's
show.
a big one.
This has been the post show. Oh, Jesus God, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, I need you to do your homework. Come up with a 1-syllable word for chef's kiss. Let's get something in the dictionary.
Tick it up.
Tick it up.
Dick it up.
Until next time, dick it up, dicks down.